Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Today is Sunday. It's Sunday, baby. You guys know. You guys already know. You already know what's going on. You know what's going down. What is going on? Ready to talk to the peoples.
Yes, the new channels are up on my end. You guys have really shown your love for the new channel coming out on the Instagram. There's also one on TikTok. Pretty much the same thing. Happy to be here as usual. This is the greatest way to end my weeks. So happy to be here. Can't wait to get into this episode today.
Oh yeah, man, we're gonna have an interesting episode as always. As always. We always gotta have interesting episodes, man, because you guys have been loving the content that we've been doing. We've been actually just blowing up on Instagram. Absolutely blowing up on Instagram. Dude, it's been insanity. Like, we went viral a couple weeks ago.
Yes,
Literally, I was talking to him about it last week, where we hit half a million views within 1 week, and then in 2 weeks we hit 1.5 million.
Yeah,
and I mean, just insane the support that we've been getting, like in the past few years, or like the past few weeks and months. I called it in the beginning of this year. Yeah. I don't know if you remember. I called it in the beginning of this year. I was like, bro, we are growing so like substantially fast. It's crazy to me. And it's crazy because like this has been the fastest growth even before like you got onto the show, and I was just doing it by myself. Yeah. Like, it's crazy to me. It's like we jumped into 2026, you got onto the show, and out of nowhere, within 5 months, we go viral and have a video that's over, 1.5 million, or 1.5 million views. And then we've gone up from 7,000 followers on Instagram to 11.2. Like, it's crazy. And then his channel had only been up for like, how many days? Maybe like 1 or 2 days. And he was up too. Yeah, he's already up close to 500 followers. Yeah. All thanks to you guys, just clicking that link down in the description and dropping him a follow.
Yeah.
Like, that is crazy to me, man. It is crazy, the support we have right now and a bit of the reach that we have right now. It's wild. It's wild to think about it. How are you feeling about just kind of the virality of things and how fast we're kind of moving?
I mean, if I'm being honest, it's kind of expected. You know what I mean? Us two in general, we've known each other for 20 years. We've always had our head kind of in the space around not just like being put out there, but like entertaining. Because we had tried a couple of different times to do different like YouTube channels, different forms of content. Like, I was doing photography. We've always both kind of done gaming together as well. Just speaking to people. I know he's a good leader at work. I was a great leader in the Marine Corps. So like I realized that the impact that I've had on people was something that stuck out and was also something that people really appreciated and stuff like that. So obviously, us being very, very similar, I was kind of just like seeing the success coming in that he cultivated on his own. I was like, yeah, it just kind of makes sense for if we're both together like we should have been for a while now, that we would start to snowball really, really fast. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so for me, it's kind of just like almost like an expected thing, like another day at the office kind of ordeal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Super grateful to be able to have the opportunity as well, because there have been some tough times, and to think back on some of the more personal stuff in my life and some of the stuff that I know you've been through is like it's just kind of crazy to think that like we've gone through so much to get to a point now where the success is really starting to show, and it's just it's a mixture of like expected and like crazy, because you kind of expect things to go one way, but then you can't really fully imagine how they actually go, and then it actually like surprises you in a way, what I mean? So that's just where I'm at, right?
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, it's a lot to realize you're in front of so many people. And like, I get it, the internet is vast, and like everybody has kind of some type of internet presence, you know what I mean? And so it's like, when you go from kind of just being an ordinary like person that goes to work and you do your thing, you're not really online like that. Maybe you're online consuming content, but I think it's very different when you're creating content and people are looking at you, they're watching you, they're listening to what you have to say, stuff like that. Like when we did the video last week of those older dudes,
right,
beating on the gentleman and stuff like that, bro, like so many people felt exactly the way that you felt, where you were like, oh my God, these are the worst fucking human beings possible, this and that. Like the amount of people that were just like, oh my God, I feel for you. It's crazy to think that there's so many people that would kind of galvanize behind the words that you have and the words that you say. Like, and it's the kind of the reason why I say and kind of do the things that I do on the show, is because I've kind of seen that, and I try to come at it in a way of like, I kind of being humble, but at the same time, it's like nobody also gives you your flowers in this either.
Right.
You know what I mean? They kind of look at it like, he's there and then he's gone, because of how fast the internet really moves. And so like staying in that, like, I don't want to say, I guess you could say spotlight. It is difficult to stay in that. And so, that is something like when I wasn't a content creator, I always looked at other content creators and I'm like, why would they be so like frantic when it comes to just like their viewership starting to drop off, or oh my God, am I still relevant, and this and that, and like, oh my God, I'm having this big success right now, how long is it gonna last? That's the question that I keep going through my head, where I'm like, okay, we're popping right now, but how long is this popping gonna last? And then it sucks because you get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's like, holy shit, one little thing, boop, and it just pops. And you see this a lot in a lot of like content creators nowadays. If you were I don't know if you know or if you remember or have seen the whole Dr. Disrespect thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where he was texting girls on Twitch and all this kind of stuff, and in his Discord and all this kind of stuff, blah blah. It's to where it's like he got so big, and then literally the littlest, like, I get it. I don't want to say like him talking to little girls is a little issue. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this thing comes out and it's like all of a sudden, boop. And
that's gone.
It's just gone. It's like everything that you've built, everything that you've done, it is gone. It takes just that little step into controversy, and then all of a sudden it's just like, bam, it's gone. For me, I'm just like, holy shit, like we're on our way to that. And I can see why content creators sometimes will kind of be like, yo, this is a lot.
Yeah.
But I know that we can handle it. We can take it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're thick-skinned individuals. And then on top of that, we speak nothing but facts over here on this show. So it's not like, we ever have to worry about, being called out and all that kind of stuff. Even though they try, but they still can't do it. Because there's so many people that tried to, like, get back at me about the whole like feminist thing. Remember I did the feminist video where that 19-year-old girl was like, oh, I'm married and I don't have a degree and this and that, and then the feminist girl was just like, oh my God, that scares me because she doesn't have financial backing, and I showed all the stats, statistics and everything like that, and I'm like, even in the face of stats and statistics, they're still like trying to call me out, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, but like men and women lie, but numbers don't.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you can sit there and not like me or not like what I say or whatever the case may be, but the stats don't give a fuck about what I have to say or you have to say. They're finite facts. It just is what it is. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's been a roller coaster these last 6 months of this year.
Yeah.
And it really has been. And honestly, we haven't even started the roller coaster because we're still clack. You know what I mean? Like, we're still on our way. We haven't even reached the top yet. So, but I mean, I have this conversation to start the episode just to say thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To you guys, to let you guys know that we see you guys in the comments, liking, showing support. The fact that literally, he had a new account for a couple days. We put it out, and then all of a sudden you guys followed it like crazy. Yeah. That to me is wild as hell. So again, it to me, I'm like, that's super awesome, and we do appreciate that. But we're gonna get into today's episode. This first video, I found it to be super funny, and I kind of want to get like a little bit of your take when it comes to this one.
Okay.
So we're gonna get into it right now. Let me make sure the sound is on.
100,000 women went on strike today in Iceland to demand gender equality. The entire population is 370,000. So over 25% of the population went on strike. And I have some crazy news for you. The economy did not come to a stop, and it continued as normal. The only memo I got was that HR departments were getting no complaints for the 24 hours that the women were on strike. And men were writing that they were really sorry women didn't get gender equality, but I heard one CEO said it was nice to finally get some shit done, end quote. So 100.
Perfect.
What do you think about that?
Look, men lie, women lie. The numbers don't, okay? It's the proof is within itself, right?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
only thing that changed was not the economy, not productivity. It was the fact that HR got less complaints.
Yo, hey man, look, if you remember that video that I did about that guy that was just like, why don't men just shut the fuck up? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
When I did that video and I thoroughly debunked, bro, this right here further proves my point, bro, where it's like men are the reason why the world runs. Women are not the reason why the world runs, bro. Like, if men did this, if 370,000 men decided, yo, we're not going to go to work today, shit would fall apart.
Right.
Look, would it be catastrophe? No, it wouldn't. But things would fall apart. Things would not run as efficiently. Things would kind of be going wrong. You would have power outages in certain areas. You would have situations going awry. Like, planes would be delayed like crazy. Like, there'd be so much that would go wrong with 370,000 men deciding not to go to work. But 370,000 women decided not to go to work, and the world doesn't skip a beat.
Yeah.
It's like they weren't even there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's like, this is why I look at feminism as ridiculous and dumb. Because it's like, bro, you guys are fighting for something that really won't change anything. Sorry to say it, bro. You guys can be as equal to us as you want. But you guys contributing makes no difference. It doesn't. It makes no difference at all. It's like, come on, man. And when I saw that, I laughed so hard because I'm like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
like they said, here you go. It's like if your daughters came to you with a picture and they drew the family and it was just like a really shitty picture, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna put it up on the refrigerator right there. Look at that, sweetheart.
Yeah.
You did fantastic. That's exactly what the world did to these women.
Yep.
They were like, oh, you want to protest and not go to work and do all that? Okay, cool. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we support you guys. You're fantastic. Come on, guys. Let's go get the real work done.
Yeah.
Like, bro. Oh, man. Look, I just, when I saw that, I was just like, dude, that's insane. It's insane to me. But, yeah. Oh, all right. This video, I love this video because a lot of people, when we did the video where it was that girl and she was like, oh, guys, would you find it attractive if
If you arrived on a date.
Right? Yeah. If the girl arrived early on the date, but she was talking to some other guy,
yeah.
Would you find that attractive? And I was like, no, they wouldn't find that attractive. You would find that attractive, though, because if the guy got there early and was talking to a really beautiful woman, you would be actually like, holy shit, the fact that a really beautiful woman is talking to the guy that I'm about to go on a date on, that would kind of show social proof. That would show the mate choice copying thing that we talk about and all that kind of stuff. This video perfectly shows real world example of that. Like, obviously we were talking hypothetically, but this shows real world example where he uses the idea of mate choice copying to make himself look more attractive, i.e., if women find him attractive, the girl that he is actually going for is actually going to perceive him as more attractive.
Right.
So we're going to roll that clip right now.
I'm gonna walk up to the next girl, and I need y'all to start glazing me as soon as I walk up to her, alright? I gotta see a back draw if I can pay them. Apple Watch, let's go! Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I just thought you were so beautiful.
Do you have pizza? Oh my god, are you warm?
Wait,
Are you
wait,
warm?
yeah.
Really, are you warm?
Yeah.
Wait, I love your TikTok videos.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it too.
Sensational.
A little bit.
Dude, you
I was trying to get her number. Is it cool if I get your
Are you
number?
famous? Are you famous?
Yeah, a little bit.
Get your number? Yeah. Wait, we're gonna take a picture. I thought we were gonna take a picture too.
Okay, bet.
Show me your Instagram.
No. Don't take. Wait. Can I get your number though?
He can't keep getting away with it.
Okay, wait, we're gonna get a picture.
Okay, you can get a picture.
Wait.
Alright. Well, honestly, I think he chose the wrong girl. The girl in the black was like way more into him. But the fact that like she wanted nothing to do with him, she said, "Oh, do you have pizza?" And then all of a sudden, all these girls come up to him, and then she's like, "Wait a minute, hold on, I'm interested in him now. I got to talk to him. I got to see what's going on. Are you famous? Are you this? Are you that?" Like the interest level was literally rock bottom. Then the moment all these girls come up, and the interest shoots up, and she's just like, "Wait, whoa, what the?" And that's what I mean. Is like for a dude, we don't find that attractive. You can't walk up to a girl and want her number, and then a bunch of guys walk up to her, and we immediately find her more attractive. That's just not the way that works. But it works that way with girls.
Right.
You know?
And I think what a lot of people kind of misconstrue is the idea here is not that just because women speak to you, you're more attractive. It's the idea that, as you saw here, right, he walked up to those girls, and this is something that I really don't like. A lot of men and a lot of people as society, I myself have made it a point to really stop this in my own behavior, is stop apologizing for existing. Right?
Yes.
Do not approach a woman and say, sorry. Because who the fuck approaches someone that they're trying to
Court,
prove like, hey, I have value. And the first thing out of your mouth is, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Which is why she's like, her initial response is another fucking jester right in front of me being a fool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have her initial thought was, do you have some type of actual value?
And that's
yes
why
or
she
no.
said, "Do you have pizza?"
Do you have pizza? Because she's like,
Yeah.
I'm hungry. What can I get from this?
Exactly. And
But the idea is, if he had been like, damn, I can't think of really any. It would have to be specific to me being in that situation. But the idea is, you don't want to start with like, excuse me, or like, I'm sorry, or any opener that has been said over and over and over again by every other man, right? You want to start with an opener that's typically situational based, and then from there act as if that interaction happens all the time. Like, oh yeah, just excuse me, like I got to deal with this shit, happens all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
that is a lot different than in the example that we had mentioned before, where if a dude's sitting down talking to a beautiful girl, right, the idea of like, yeah, like I get approached all the time and I turn them down is different than like you have a conversation with a beautiful woman, because that shows that you're not used to talking to beautiful women. You're having a lot more interest in anyone that comes your way, right, which lowers your value. So the point here is, when that happened, right, she was like, do you have value? Immediately the social proof of like, yeah, I got value. You see what the fuck happened right in front of you? Mm-hmm. She was like, oh shit. Like, but the problem was his demeanor didn't solidify it, which is why she was like, let me see your Instagram. Is he for real famous? Like, what's happening here? Because you approached with, I'm sorry, I don't mean to bother you, right? And that's what fucked it up for you. She knew subconsciously there's something off about this. So that's why, like he was saying, the other chick was a little bit more into him at the end, because she didn't really pick up on that and was like, oh, dude, like this guy is famous, I'm buying into it. Whereas the other girl was like, no, I don't think so, because he came up and was like, I'm so sorry, yada yada type of deal.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
mean, my you know, I agree with those points. All I wanted to illustrate is that when when a woman sees that there are other women interested in you for some reason, it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to necessarily be sexual, but it's just it's that social proof as well as that mate choice copying of once they see other women are like looking at you favorably, then, you know, her attraction went from absolutely zero, probably even negative, you know what I mean, up to somewhere in the positive. And that all I was trying to illustrate is the fact that when women see their guy, you know, and another woman is talking to that guy or comfortable with that guy or having a conversation with that guy or anything like that, that automatically makes the guy more attractive just off the simple fact that there is social proof there. There is already kind of like a sign off on that guy. Like, okay, he's not weird. He's not this and that. Like if a beautiful woman could sit down next to him and have a conversation with him, then like, cool, I'm good. I'm fine. And that's what that video kind of proves is like, she thought he was weird. She thought like there was no value in this dude, that all this and all that. And then the moment these girls walk up, she's reevaluating. Wait a minute. Hold on. Maybe he does have something. Maybe there is something. Like the interest level immediately goes up. Versus if those girls never went up, she would have just been like, oh, you don't have any pizza? Okay, bye. We're leaving. Yeah. You know what I mean? That interaction would have been a lot quicker. So that I wanted to show that video to kind of illustrate that, because I got a lot of flack for that video where they're just like, oh, this is the most like alpha male bro thing ever. And I'm like, but it's the truth though. Yeah. Like this is how women perceive like men when they're choosing to date them or choosing to interact with them or not, because they're doing it for safety reasons, and we understand that. So it's like, if you can kind of show that you're already pre-selected by other women, well, that automatically makes the woman you're going after a lot more comfortable, because she's like, oh, okay, cool, no, we're good, we're fine.
And you know, your point makes a lot of sense. You know, I just wanted to clear up the other aspects of it, because in the comments people are like, when you realize all it took was pizza, and it's like, no, that's not all it took, because I guarantee he still would have bought the pizza and still been like put to the side.
Exactly. He wouldn't have got her number, nothing.
Because it's the approach, your demeanor, your actual, once you get that foot in the door with the social proof, you have to be able to stand on it with how you act. And that's what the other piece of the puzzle that people sometimes miss. You know what I mean? So
because like when he sat there and he said that whole thing of like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just like, bro, don't ever say you're sorry. Don't ever say you're sorry, ever. Because all it does is it shows what you're saying is, I am beneath you. You know what I mean? And you don't want that. Women want to date their superiors. They want to date a man who's better than them in every single way. You have to kind of, you know, show that. You have to show that to her. You know, like you said, you already explained it very well, but that's, you know, the concept that he's showing. All right, I remember we did this one before, so well, not this video, but we did something similar to this. But yeah, so we'll go like question by question, and then you know, we'll answer the questions. Our camera will probably cover the bottom, so I'll just keep it on this. Okay, so our first one is it cheating if you don't tell your partner someone hit on you at a party?
I think that's an interesting one. Personally, I don't think that's cheating.
Okay, if you don't say anything.
Like, if you don't say anything, I don't feel like that's cheating.
Okay.
And I say that because it depends on how you take it. If you are like, oh, this is something that I like, you know, I am planning to cheat with this, then like that's cheating. But like, if you get hit on, right, and the idea is, I mean, I'd like to know your answer too, because it's like, if your girl, I mean, obviously you would date an attractive woman, right? If your girl's attractive, I would expect her to go out and be hit on, just like I expect my wife to go out and sometimes get hit on if she's by herself, right? I don't need to know that, because it's like, what's the point of you telling me? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to then be like, oh, I should go with you to the store, or like, unless you want me to solve a problem, I don't care.
Oh, okay.
And it's not cheating. You know what I mean? And vice versa, right? Like, if I was hit on, I wouldn't go back and tell my wife unless like the only reason I could see it is if you wanted to get a reaction, but that's different. You know what I mean? So like,
my thing is, I don't think it is cheating either. I agree. I think it's a thing where, look, a lot of people are going to sit there and they're going to be of the mindset of, oh, if they don't tell you, then that means that they're hiding it and they're secretly talking to that person. If you have that mindset of your partner, guess what? That relationship's kind of already cooked, if I'm being real with you. Like, let's just be real. The relationship's already cooked. I always say it on the show. Like, if you have to sit there and micromanage your partner, be in their phone all the time and wonder what they're doing online and in their social media and DMs, like, bro, that relationship's already over. Okay? Yes. That relationship ain't going nowhere. It's not going to last. You're in it for now, but that one summer evening's coming. Yes. And let's just be real. And my thing is I always tell dudes, I'm like, bro, worrying about that stuff, it only hurts you because it just puts you in this frantic mind state of just like, oh, but what if? It's like, dude, if she tells me, then cool. If she doesn't, and I don't see anything weird coming out of this or anything like that, I don't think it's cheating. I just look at it like, she got, and like you said, just by her going out by herself or going somewhere to do something or whatever, she's gonna get hit on.
Yeah.
Even online, there are people that are gonna get in her DMs and say something to her. Yep. Like, this is inevitable. It's going to happen just for the fact that she's got a vagina, bro. Yeah. So you can't really sit there and be like, oh yeah, no, this guy talked to you at the grocery store, yeah, you cheated on me. Like, no, that's kind of ridiculous. That's just a little too much, man. Yep. You, as a guy, you should understand and know that regardless if she's single with you, with some dude or whatever, that she's gonna get hit on by other guys. It just is what it is. And if whether she tells you or not, I don't think really matters or is pertinent to you guys' relationship. Yeah, I just don't think so. I'm all right, let's get on to our next one. Is it cheating to use a dating app just to see if you still got it? Oh, God.
Oh, my God. That one's stupid, but two,
it is extremely stupid.
I mean, yeah, that's you're probably one step away from just cheating. Yeah, I mean, like,
because dude, you only want to see if you still got it because you want to cheat.
Yeah,
you want to do it. Like, I always tell women, men don't like actively go out and cheat. Like, what women think that like when they're in a relationship with a girl, when they go out with their boys or when they go out or whatever the case may be, they actively are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna cheat on my girl. And I'm like, no. A lot of times when your guy cheats on you, it's just right place, right time. like he's just out doing his thing. Some girl's talking to him, they're vibing, and one thing leads to another. And that's kind of, he didn't seek it out. He didn't, stuff like that. Like, sure, are there some guys that are going to, be messaging a girl, this, and that? Yeah, there are. But if I'm being real with you, how many times does that actually lead to something? Like, as a single guy, when you're texting a girl and when you're talking to a girl and this and that, and how many times does that really lead to actually something happening? Not really often, because women are very flaky. So it's like, even if that nigga is messaging a girl and this and that, it's like, bro. So, but the thing is if you're on a dating app, you're facilitating it. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're actively going out and trying to do it. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, no, dude, come on.
Yeah, and it's very clear, very evident. People will try to spin it in a way where it's like, I can't even really think of
I'm not serious.
Yeah, like I'm not serious.
I'm just playing around,
whatever.
Yeah, like I'm not actually gonna do anything or go on these dates or stuff. And it's like,
but it's like, yeah, exactly.
Come on, bro. Like, imagine your girl walking up to you and being like, "Oh, I only went out on this dinner date with this guy because I was hungry."
Yeah,
bro. No.
Yeah.
No.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Even with the idea of like it's just a joke, whatever. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it really. It all boils down to that secret. There's like the main reason at the bottom is like, I just want to make sure that I could attract someone else and have your replacement lined up, basically. You know what I mean?
Oh, pretty much. Yeah. Because look, women do monkey branching a lot more than men do, but there are men that monkey branch.
Yeah.
There are men that will have a chick kind of just lined up, ready to go, and when his girl ain't doing what he wants her to do, or whatever the case may be, then he goes to the next one. Like, it does happen, but I mean, obviously not as much as women do it. But yeah, if you're on a dating app, bro, it just kind of goes to show, like, yeah, this, you're facilitating the cheating. You actually want to do that. All right. The next one is it cheating if I flirt to get free drinks? I kind of already said this one as far as, I went on a date with him just because I was hungry. Like, I mean, bro, like, come on, man. Yeah, I think it's cheating.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting because there's like a couple different ways you could think about it. Obviously, one directly, it's cheating because you're flirting to get stuff out of someone, right? But you're like, it's not serious or whatever. But like, you could say the same thing for anything where it's like, yeah, like the whole, like, is being a sugar baby cheating just because you want to have,
you're only
like,
getting money.
Yeah,
not sex out of it or anything. Yeah.
It's like, no, dude, like, I feel like any type of like real like connection, intimacy is typically lines for some form of cheating. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
Your partner should be the one that like you're contempt with, and any other advantage you get from using those kind of avenues of approach, like flirting, you know, like your youngness or your oldness or whatever, right? It's just cheap ways to try to take advantage of other people when you yourself should just be that kind of person that can cultivate whatever it is in your own relationship and for your own situation. You know what I mean? I.e., earn yourself more money. You should have enough money to get as many drinks as you want, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? If you're just trying to take advantage of someone else, one, it's just immoral, and two, it's still cheating because you're using someone else in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like if you're using like intimate tactics or even like giving over your intimacy, whether an intimacy is not just sex, like you know, your intimacy is, you know, touching and certain looks and, you know, body language and things like that. Like if you're giving that to another man or another woman, it's like, yeah, you're cheating. Like there's like a lot of people think that you have to kiss them, you have to have sex with them, you gotta be doing, you know, the most egregious shit to be cheating. And it's like, no, just the fact that you are interacting with this person intimately goes to show that you're cheating. That's why a lot of times, you know, you see, I watch sometimes these like relationship test videos where they'll like test their girl to see if their girl will cheat on them or whatever, and they'll have a decoy guy go hit on her and they're watching the whole interaction and stuff like that. And, you know, the guy will get upset the fact that, you know, she's touching and she's being flirty and she's kind of doing this and that, and the guy will get upset and be like, what the fuck, why were you being flirty, why were you doing this, and she'll be like, oh, but I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything, I didn't kiss him, I didn't touch him, we didn't have sex. And it's like, because that's not the level of cheating. The level of cheating is the fact that you're giving away your intimacy to another man. You're not supposed to do that. In the same way, I don't give my intimacy to another woman. You know, it's like, dude, what the fuck, man? But all right. Is it? Okay. Actually, that was it. Yeah, that was all of them.
Yeah, it was a short video.
Okay, that was all of them. Okay, cool. All right. There was this one right here. This video is kind of actually insane. I ain't gonna lie to you. I want to get your take on this story.
Okay.
All right.
Meet Michelle. Michelle wanted to be a part of the That's My Why Not trend so bad that she forgot that her ex-husband of almost 4 years has receipts on her. Michelle says, "This is my ex-husband. He has a wandering eye. Only 3 months after saying I do, he was busy following a specific girl on Instagram while on duty. Not only did she know he was married, she knew me too. Turns out serving and protecting didn't include protecting his marriage. Anyway, that's my why not." So basically, Michelle is saying that her ex-husband cheated on her 3 months after they got married. But Michelle, did you forget that your ex-husband has this video?
We've had our problems, but I've never fucking cheated on you.
Okay. Yes, I did.
Okay.
But you know what?
We're done.
Stop, chill.
We're done.
Stop.
There's nothing that you can tell me. I've never done that to you. I didn't even think about doing that to you. So you know what? The fact that it's happened multiple times, okay, we're done. Like, this is done. Please just take your stuff and go. All right? You're not going to find out who I got this information from.
Yes, you need to tell me.
No, I don't. Why would I need to tell you? Regardless of how...
Yes, I want to know.
And yes, that's her in the video. It showed her face in the beginning of the video. Michelle was more concerned with who told him that she cheated on him multiple times before they got married than anything else. Well, it turns out it was one of Michelle's friend that told her ex-husband that she cheated. And they are still friends right now, and she doesn't know it. That man is now married and seems to be very happy. And him and his new wife recently just bought a house together. And I think that's what prompted Michelle to make that post.
She was mad.
What's this? That's my why not thing.
I
What is that?
don't know. I don't know what that trend is.
Okay.
I'm sure it's just some TikTok bullshit that women do. Because the whole reason she posted this was for the simple fact that she was mad that she cheated on her husband. Her husband found out. And then all of a sudden now she's kind of downplaying the marriage and making it seem like he was bad. Like, no, she cheated. They broke up. He got with another girl. They got married, and then they're buying a house together, and they're all happy. And so then she's now, downplaying it and making it seem like when he got with that other girl, it was while they were married. But what the video shows is that he left her. He was like, bro, I found out that you cheated. We're done. And then he got with that girl that he married. So again, it's like you can't sit there and say that this man cheated on you when in reality he broke up with you, left your ass, got with another girl, married her. That you guys are all happy. You're over here stalking him on Instagram, finding out that he has a house and all this kind of stuff, and they're happy together. You can't be mad at that. Like, that's crazy work that you're gonna sit there and try to frame this as him being the cheater. You're gonna frame this as him being the one that did that. It's like, no, you cheated. You were the one that cheated. So it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, I had to look it up. It was basically a trend of like, instead of like, this is my why for being married, this is my why I'm not doing this or whatever, why I'm not staying in the relationship, yada yada. Just basically saying like, what are some red flags that caused you to, whatever, right? So now it makes a little bit more sense as to why this trend is like a trend, but at the same time, like we already said, this woman, I mean, it all kind of just circles back to the idea of like accountability being the public enemy number one for women,
Oh yeah.
They hate that shit. So it's the idea that she, for whatever reason, like you said, she got jealous and was like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna try to ruin the next. And yeah, like he said, she must have forgot that her ex-husband had receipts and was like, you dumbass, like
you cheated on me,
and now you look stupid.
Yeah, like she's trying to say that he cheated on her, and it's like, no, sweetie, you cheated on him.
Yeah.
He broke it off and got with another girl.
Yeah.
Like that. Come on now. Like that makes no sense. Like that's crazy how women will gaslight themselves into believing that they were the victim when it's like, no, you were the perpetrator.
And yeah, I mean that's a very valid point too. I'm more than sure she doesn't think that she's a hypocrite in this scenario.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all.
She thinks that she's correct and accurate with what she was saying. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, bro, it is insanity to me, man. And like that's what I'm saying. It's like, dude, like I hate how people will come onto this app, onto TikTok and stuff like that, and they will like spin a wise tale and they will sit there and like frame things. And it's like, bro, these people need to be called out. That's why a lot of times I like to use our platform to call this like crazy ridiculousness out, because it's like, dude, no, like you can't sit there and try to paint this dude in a bad light when you're the one that was starting all the problems. Like it's insanity to me. All right, this blew my mind. Was absolutely crazy. So apparently this was brought about to a news outlet that there were literally teenage kids like
I've seen that
destroying I believe it's Chicago. Yeah, I think so. I think it's Chicago. I'm not 100% sure, but it sparked a movement, and I want to get your take on it and see what you think about it. So I'm gonna play this video, and then I'm gonna play the video of what kind of started a certain movement. All right, so we're gonna
These teen takeovers are starting to look apocalyptic. I mean, look at this. These scenes all look like that famous scene in World War Z, a zombie movie.
Another teen takeover in downtown Detroit, and this time the violence ended with a shooting that left a 14-year-old child injured.
Here they are pushing back a police car in Chicago. Like, what is this? And then there's this in Norfolk, Virginia. This doesn't even look real.
A fiery, chaotic scene Sunday night on Redgate Avenue. New video shared with 10 on your side shows a person doing donuts nearly hitting the bystanders recording. Then as people stand around, a firework is set off right on the road, barely missing those around it.
This woman couldn't believe what she was seeing from her home.
This is the shit that's going on my fucking block. Come outside, motherfuckers standing on top of your car, throwing ass, shaking ass. You tell them get up off of your car, they want to get fucking ignorant with you. Take y'all ass the fuck on. Take y'all ass the fuck on. Come get y'all motherfucking baby kids. Fuck.
So as the teen takeover phenomenon continues to spread and nobody does anything but talk about how the community needs to come together and yada yada yada.
We need to start investing more in our communities and our families.
It's the responsibility of the community, of our neighborhood leaders.
You can kiss your beloved first world country goodbye.
This Infinity, likely stolen, finally broke down from all the spinning. Then a mob jumped on it and set it on fire.
Without a worry in the world, the brazen looters grab everything in sight. Cookies, candy, chips, just about every item of merchandise. This dude got really aggressive, flinging bananas at the clerk who was hiding in the corner of the store. Then this guy jumped the counter, throwing cartons of cigarettes to the crowd. The free-for-all wasn't done yet. They tried to steal the cash register and grabbed as many lotto tickets as they could. They all rushed out of the store with their loot before police got there.
By now, you may have seen some of the teen takeover in Lakeview late Monday night. Many here jumped off the red line at Belmont, soon blocking traffic and jumping on cars.
We don't want no violence.
No violence, but disruption and damage.
CPD officers worked to control the crowd and move them out of the area, but the teens left behind a path of destruction. People were horrified by the extent of the damage this morning. Shoe prints on cars, hoods dented, windshields broken.
It's terrifying.
These teen
All right, so because of that,
the usual suspects, by the way.
So because of that, there is a right-wing conservative guy of the name of Jake Lang. He is starting a movement where he believes that he's starting a movement called Black Parents Are Failures because of the teen takeovers and what's going on.
Who is this guy? It's nothing. We're talking about what are you at the BET Awards for? Why are you at a BET Awards that celebrates drug dealing, rap culture? You guys sober. Why?
All right. So your thoughts kind of on everything.
I mean, it's.
I mean, I sorry to cut you off, but I ask you because you yourself are a black parent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The idea is you can be black and be part of the culture, but there are levels to this kind of thing, right? The idea here is too many bad apples are starting to set a very widespread tone for the rest of everyone, right? And the main issue is like, I'll start off and say, like, I agree, right? Black culture is getting disgusting. You know what I mean? Because the idea is there's too much of this mantra to the idea of we need revenge. We need to stop fucking caring. We need to stop doing, like, rolling over. We need to just do whatever, right? And the problem with that is then you start to spark things like this. When, for myself, right, I push my children more and more to get out of their comfort zone to achieve more for themselves, right? because at the age of 13 all the way up to like 18, I would say you are gearing up to becoming an adult.
Oh,
a lot of people talk about how do you go from, raising your hand to use the restroom in high school, being told, hey, show up here on time, do this, this is all the work, this is how you get your credit, to now you're on your own, you have to make your own money, you have to learn taxes, you have to figure out how you're going to, support yourself, support a family, start this, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, it starts with the parents. Mm-hmm. And you have fucking kids. And this is why I go back and forth on the idea of like, I like teenagers, I don't. Because from my perspective, I will never blame a kid or a teenager for their actions. They have been influenced by the people around them and their parents mainly on what it is, on how they act, right? What they believe is true, what they believe is not true, what they believe they can do, what they believe they can get away with, right? So the idea that, yeah, like you could say it's parents in general, because granted, I could pick out any fucking race and point out problems with their kids, right?
Of course.
So the idea is, some commonalities I see is kids don't have enough respect, right? Kids don't have enough belief in themselves as well. Kids have almost too much belief in their parents as well. And that's an interesting one, because the idea there is a lot of kids will go into their 20s and be like, my parents still make all my decisions for me, right?
Okay.
So that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
A parent that has no actual financial literacy makes your financial decisions when, you know what I mean? So the idea there is like, bro, if your parents have their own limiting beliefs and you're looking to them to shape you, mold you, and help guide you through the best course of action in life, you're looking in the wrong spot. But that's besides the point, right? Here, what we're talking about is, like in the first video, charge their parents, you know what I mean? Because I guarantee it's some fucking parent that's not involved or hasn't healed from like their past traumas or their own limiting beliefs or whatever, their own jealousies, their own ego, and is causing this kind of stuff, right? And I say that with prime example of and I don't want to go too much on a rant here, but I've mentioned it, I think, once before on the show. I was at Del Taco. I've been at multiple Del Tacos, right? And this is another prime example of why I fucking hate the black culture, black community, in some instances. Every time, and I blame myself for frequenting these establishments as well. Every time I go out to see fast food, there's always some motherfucker there yelling at the cashier about, my shit better be fresh. I better get extra crispy fries, extra this. It better be well seasoned. It better be this. It better be this. Like they're a fucking slave or something. Like they're fucking waiting on you hand and foot. You know what I mean? Like, this table's dirty. Come stop what you're doing. Help me out. Don't pay attention to them ordering. Fix what I got going on. And it's like, bro, especially with black people, I'm like, why the fuck do you feel like you need to go to another place and start demanding people around, right? It's one thing where, like, I get it, right? If at the end of a work week, you fucking worked 14 hours, 12 hours, whatever many hours, you're fucking starving, you're like, dude, I hope this shit is actually worth it because prices have gone up. But to go there and start demanding, ordering people around, especially probably a fucking teenager trying to make, minimum week ends meet, you're yelling at them, and it's like, bro, this is what the fuck I got to look forward to every day. I wake up and I'm gonna get bitched at by another fucking entitled black person, entitled white person, entitled Hispanic, you know what I mean? Someone that says, I don't know any better, I don't got respect for the older generation. But this is, adults need to understand, the way you present yourself is how they're gonna reflect it back to you, right? If I guarantee you, if a teenager came up to you and was like, "Mom, my breakfast better be ready at fucking 7:30 before I go to school. It better be hot and fresh before I get to school." You're gonna look at them like, "What the fuck? Why the fuck would I do that for you?
Yeah,
You ungrateful?" And you still go to they're trying their hardest to become members of society, and you go to their work and you demand that of them for what?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're younger than you. That's that simple fact of they're younger than you, right? And that's what I'm getting at. You're not trying to mold them into people, i.e., they got way too much time on their hands and they're out here fucking running the streets. Hundreds, thousands of kids just running the streets for what? Because they have no other direction. I guarantee if they had something they actually cared about building for themselves, they would not be out there on the streets doing this shit.
Oh,
right?
hell no.
Because when me and you were trying to earn enough money for our first cars, right? I wasn't out here like fucking standing on cars or going to the beach every fucking weekend or doing whatever. I was at work trying to build enough economy so I could buy my first car.
Yeah.
And then it just snowballed into like I had a girl, so like I fucking was trying to provide for her and make sure she didn't have to fucking work. And then we had our first daughter, and then it just yeah, I mean, like
snowballed from there.
Yeah. Right? I didn't have time to fucking go out and fucking, look at fucking other teenagers destroy shit, go join them, go do whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm getting at is like, something's got to be done about the fucking black culture that's poisoning the rest of the black people in the culture. You know what I mean? Because I've met people that you would think like fit that mantra of like, oh, this is just another ghetto fucking black person, and then you see their house, you see the way their kids conduct themselves, and you're like, oh shit, never mind, maybe I was fucking wrong. And
it shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't
be. You should be able to look at a black person and know that they are a poised individual. But the thing is dude, like black people complain so much about the stereotypes and then they perpetuate them. And it's like, bro, you can't complain about what you are perpetuating, bro. It really upsets me and it really annoys me because it's just like, dude, like, you guys feel that you're oppressed and you feel that you're behind in life, you feel that you can't do this, you feel you can't do that, and then you go and you act like fools and you expect people to respect you. You expect people to like look at you like with favor and things like that. It's like, no. And then you're raising your kids to be the same degenerate that you are. And it's like, bro, no, you're only making it harder for your kid. That's all you're doing is you're just making it harder for your kid. Like, when it comes to this, dude, I simply think it's the fact that, like, the culture has gotten so bad to where, like, parents just aren't really parenting their kids anymore. This whole soft parenting thing, this whole, oh, we're not going to hit our kids and we're not going to spank them and we're not going to do this, do that. Bro, I got my ass beat till I was 18. All right, my dad was whooping my ass till I was 18. I did some fuck shit, bro. I was getting my ass whooped. If I wasn't doing good in school, got my ass whooped. If I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing, got my ass whooped. If I wasn't in before the lights came on, my ass was whooped. Like, I truly believe kids need to get their ass whooped, bro. I'm sorry to say it. They need repercussions to their actions. If you are going to do something bad, you need to experience repercussions because that's how the real world works. If you go out and you break a law, guess what? You're going to get in trouble for that. Whether you have to pay a fine, you got to do jail time, you got to do community service, whatever it may be. But for some reason, kids just do whatever the fuck they want. Oh, they're just kids. Oh, you can't get on them because they're kids. Oh, you shouldn't beat your kids because that doesn't teach them anything but hate you. No, I would argue it's like, hey, if they do something bad and then you proceed to spank them, you let them know, hey, the reason I'm doing this is because this is not what you're supposed to be doing. What you did was completely wrong and it was completely bad, and this is why I'm whooping your ass. That's what my dad did. My dad always explained to me and told me why he's about to whoop my ass. And I learned, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should, because I remember one time when I was a kid, we went to a car dealership, right? And I had a bunch of little Hot Wheels and things like that. And I had ran a Hot Wheel over the trunk of a car, and it scratched the fuck out of that car.
Damn.
And they were just like, they got really mad at my dad and were like, oh, you got to pay the damages and this and that. And why? Because I ran a Hot Wheel over that car and I scratched it. It wasn't a crazy scratch or anything like that, but it was very noticeable to the point where they're like, dude, we're now going to have to repaint that whole trunk. And so because of that, my dad was just, we got home. My dad was pissed as motherfucker. He was just like, hey, I'm whooping your ass because of the fact that you damaged somebody else's property and you put me in a predicament to where now instead of me being able to use that money to provide for the family, I now have to go fix that car. And he whooped my ass. And it made me realize, oh shit, when it comes to other people's property and when it comes to other people's things, I should not take that. I should not just act all willy-nilly. I should make sure that I am careful around other people's property. You see what I mean? But if my dad sat there and was just yelling at me and this and that, maybe I would have learned something. Maybe I wouldn't have. But the fact that I got my ass beaten, there was pain behind it, I was like, okay, I'm never doing that again. You know what I mean? Like it just reinforces that idea of there are repercussions to things that you do. I'm not saying just beat your kids willy-nilly. I'm saying you let them know the reason why you're beating them, the reason why you're doing what you're doing, because they need to know that. They need to know that there are repercussions, because I think a lot of kids go into the real world and that's why you get that entitlement. They think that they can just do and say whatever they want because they're 18, because they're 19. You know, they think, oh, but I'm still young. Oh, I'm still a kid. Oh, I'm still that. No, you're not. No, you're not. Like, you can be tried as an adult at 18. You can be tried as an adult at 19. Your consequences now have repercussions, and severe repercussions at that. You know, so I think I agree with the whole black parents are failures nowadays, because they're not teaching their kids the way that they should be. They're not putting their kids in programs that keep them occupied and furthering them in society. Like he was saying, you know, they're just not doing this. They're just letting their kids just be willy-nilly. They're letting the internet raise their kids. You know, they're letting their kids just do whatever the fuck they want to do and thinking that it's okay, thinking that that's good parenting. And it's like, no. But
that's it's all valid. It makes a lot of sense. The idea is, you gotta. It's one thing to explain something to your kid, but then it's another thing for them to actually learn the lesson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, which is why, like, for like my children specifically, and what I feel like works a lot better in the idea of reinforcing is, you just treat them like adults, dude. Like, if you treat them like adults, they have no choice but to be that. You know what I mean? I.e., if, you know, if either of my daughters do anything, they break anything, whatever, they're the ones that have to pay for it, right? Instead of buying, like, Robux or, you know, toys, whatever, right? They have to buy some shit they'll never see a return on because it's mine, or it's my wife's, or it's someone else's because they fucked up. You know what I mean? And for them to have to go through the pain of saving up, seeing that they have money, it disappearing overnight, or whatever the case may be, right? Whether it's, you know, they make a mess, they have to clean it up, they fuck up something in the car, they got to clean it up, they got to replace it, whatever, right? That's the point I'm trying to make, where something that me and my wife talk about pretty often is we understood the value of things because we were part of the process for replacing it. You know what I mean? We were not just allowed, like, hey, you know, we understood that anytime we took from our parents with some sort of like, hey, can we do this? That was time away from work, and there was money away from the bills. You know what I mean? That was something that was engraved to us. So we were very careful and selective with what we asked our parents for, as well as respecting their time, as well as building a respect for time, because we were instilled that from an early age, right? And that's where it's like, for the black community, they just fucking, you know, some of them just fuck all and come home from work, waste their fucking lives, and then they're like, either I want to give my kid money or I don't, or I just want to fucking yell at them, hit them because I'm angry because my boss don't fucking respect me because I'm not respectable, yada yada yada. Yeah, I mean, so
and that's why I emphasized my point of you tell them the reason why you're beating them, you know, because it's, and
that's a hard thing for brown people in general, right? I'll say fucking from black to fucking Mexican, Asian, Dominican, like a lot of y'all do not know how to fucking communicate, right?
No.
It's either keep the peace, kind of like I won't communicate, or you don't know how to express what it is you're trying to express, and all it comes out is anger and fucking baboonery. So
Yeah.
it's the
This nigga said baboonery.
yes, dude.
That's funny.
And what I'm saying holds fucking weight,
Oh, it
because
does. It's very
I've
true.
spoken to a lot of different people, not only in like my family, but other black families, other Mexican families. In sales, you talk to a lot of people, and you get to experience a lot of other cultures where it's like, bro, what the I mean, like, you guys don't communicate at all. No, what they do is they jump to conclusions and then they act accordingly instead. And it's like, dude, all you had to do was have a simple conversation. But even then, people will block out. And again, this is why I personally don't really like talking to prospects, because there's certain pattern recognitions that happen to where I call it like, little kid syndrome, where they stick their fingers in their ear and they start fucking drowning you out, where it's like, dude, even though this is advice, this is something that you should be hearing, you don't want to hear it just because of the way it makes you feel. Or whatever the case may be, you choose what you intake and what you don't.
That's the biggest thing right there, is you don't want to hear it because of how it makes you feel.
Yes.
That is such a big thing, dude. That is because it's like, bro, even if you don't like the messenger, or you don't like the way the message make you feel, take in the information, because you never know. I tell people all the time, bro, that when I became a man, it really understood, or it helped me understand my dad.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, you always think that your parents are kind of like, against you, and they're evil and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Oh, you're ruining my life, Dad.
Yeah.
Oh, you're ruining my life, Mom. You guys don't want to see me happy and this and that. But then you actually get into these positions where you have to take care of a family. You have bills to pay. You have responsibilities. You have things that need to get done. You have people that are on your back. Like, this is one of those things where it's like you really start to understand and sympathize with your parents. Like, holy shit, they had to make really tough decisions. They had to do things they didn't want to do. They had to go to places that they didn't want to go to places to. They had to buy you things and do things that they couldn't afford, that they couldn't do. They put themselves in tough positions just so that way it seems like, things aren't as bad as they are. Like, you start to really realize that, man. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think enough parents do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, our parents, they would do that. They would go into debt just to make sure we had school clothes, to make sure we had the latest console, to make sure we had this, we had shoes, we had that. You know what I mean? They would do these things. I think parents nowadays, though, are a lot more selfish.
Yeah.
They think about themselves over their child. It's why you see a lot of women who have kids and they'll just shovel them off to their mom, and then they'll still go out and they'll go to the club and party, or they'll go to a concert, or whatever the case may be. You'll see a lot of men, they'll sit there and they'll pretend like they're all there for the kid and this and that, and then they never show up, or they don't want to get a job or anything. Like, it's on both sides. I'm not saying it's just women or it's just men. It is on both sides. But I think being a parent requires so much sacrifice that I think today's generation of parents are just not willing to put in.
Yeah, they're not.
They're just.
That's exactly right. I think a lot of them are way too selfish. And I've always said, there's only like a few instances where it doesn't really line up, but I've always said, if you have a kid and you feel like that stunts you from being able to do something, you're looking at it wrong, and you don't know how to spend time with your kids, because there's not very many activities that you can think of that you can't do without it, like with your kid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can still a lot of people are like, oh, I can't travel anymore. You can still travel. You can still go out to eat. You can still do things. It just depends on how you cultivate that experience for your kid, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, if you have a few-month-old baby and you want to go out to a fancy restaurant, they're not going to eat anything there anyways. There's no need for you to like, oh, I'm not saying there, bring your kid there, right? What I'm saying is you should be in a position where it's like, all right, I'll leave my kid with maybe for a couple hours with someone that I really trust, that I know will actually take care of my kid, right? Because that's another thing. A lot of people are like, I'm not going to do anything because I don't trust the world. Valid. You see it happen everywhere. But the point is, leave them with someone you actually do trust, go out, have that experience, come back, be a parent again. It's not that hard. Yeah, I mean, the only people that I find really don't live up to that is like, oh, I want to go throw ass at the club, or I want to go drink and be fucking belligerent and shit like that. And it's like, why is that your priority when you now have a kid in life?
Exactly. 100%. Hey, I'm not even a dad. And I know that, but that's why I like having you on the show and your perspective, because you are a dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's funny because I experience fatherhood vicariously through you, because I am so close with your kids, and they see me as kind of like a father figure. The fact that your daughter sat there and was just like, oh yeah, if dad just left and was gone, he'd be my dad. And I'm just like, hey,
her words, her choice.
Her words, man. And so it's one of those things where it's like I live vicariously as a dad through his children, and it's just like I see it. I see how tough it is. I see how difficult it is, but it's like, you got to be able to put your wants and needs aside, because you have that responsibility now, and it's a heavy responsibility. Okay, so I've been seeing this a lot lately, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? So I'm going to play 2 videos that kind of like illustrate this thing to kind of like further drive it home. If, let's say you're single, okay? Obviously he's a married man, and say you're single, and this girl asks you, or like you go on you ask this girl out, you guys had a good conversation, you approached her, so on and so on and so on, and then you hit her up that day, and you're like, hey, are we still on for the date? And she's like, yeah, I'm still on for the date. And she's like, but in order for me to go on this date, I need $100 deposit.
I'd been like, you know what, before we go on this date, I'm gonna need to skip a few things and get the head up front. You know what I mean? All right. Because I don't want to get to the end and it's trash. You know what I mean? Right? Hey, you want $100 up front? I want head up front. Fuck it. Yeah, I mean,
okay, all right, you're gonna negotiate. I feel it though.
Right? If we're playing games, we're playing games. Yeah, you know what I mean,
yeah, like if you want money, then that's cool. I want some dome.
Yeah,
like, let's go.
Jokes aside, right? I'd say no. Let's just cancel it. Because the idea is, it's something I've come across more recently with sales and just life in general. If you don't want something to happen, don't speak on it or give it presence in your mind, right?
Oh, okay.
So the idea is like, if the date goes bad, I'll at least get $100 out of it. If you don't want it to go bad, go into it with the idea of this is going to be a fun time. Mm-hmm. And so no matter what happens, this is a positive thing. You go into it with a positive mindset, right?
Yeah.
So,
all right, so let's get into it. Like I said, we're going to show, I know I have 2 videos. I might have a third one. I don't know if it was on where it was. It might be on there too. Okay, here, we'll just show this one.
On a date moving forward, I now require a $100 refundable deposit.
To start charging a deposit if you ask to take me out on a date. If you ask to go out with me, and especially this last minute, like day of, I need a deposit.
I better see one other color in these
We should
videos.
start charging these men deposit to
Me
date.
too,
Like
bro.
we should start charging them a fee to date us. Like a 30-day trial. You pay like $1,000 to date us.
Yeah.
So
would require a deposit to take me on a date to cover my
Okay.
date
There's
preparation
one.
costs. I'm now
There's a
working
white
with
girl.
an app developer to make this a reality. There is a clear difference here where the woman can set the deposit rate and the man can pay for her date preparation costs. So as long as you're going to walk into the date already so happy, and that's going to lead to a better date. So when people ask, how did you meet? You can say, he courted me.
I like that.
Because hold on, how many know you for real if you ain't sending a deposit?
You gonna have to like make sure I look like I'm gonna have to make sure I look good. So you gonna have to send that in. I gotta get my hair done. I gotta get a new outfit. I might have to get an Uber. My money is my money. You want to see me? I want to see.
What's the deposit fee?
It depends on.
It depends on who it is, right?
No, it don't depend on who it is.
Dude.
You're wondering? Yeah, dude. It depends who it is. Because you ain't gonna make a nigga that you actually find attractive do some dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
Don't do coffee dates.
Okay.
But if I am going to do a coffee date, I am requiring $150 to go on the coffee date. And I get that, like, you guys just want to do a quick vibe check. You guys just wanting something more low stakes. Like, you want to see, like, if you actually connect with a person. I can understand that from a man's point of view. But from a woman's point of view, I don't want to waste my time either. I don't want to be too emotionally invested. I don't want to have to put up all my time getting ready, getting dressed, driving to the location. That's gas right there. So I need $150
pissing me off
to go on a coffee date. Otherwise, we can go do an actual activity that requires more effort, such as dinner, drinks, an activity, a festival, museum, something that requires a bit more planning and effort than a coffee date.
On the first date.
If we must do the coffee, date, like if you're so big on going out to coffee, because I've been seeing like a lot of guys want to do coffee lately.
Exactly.
If you're so big on wanting to do that, then I need $150 cash.
All right, we're done with you, bro. That is, yeah, man. There was one more video. I may have not saved it though. But yeah, your take on that.
It really pisses me off, the idea that like it's everything is so much of like an investment, you know what I mean? And like I mentioned before on one of the episodes prior, humans are very effort conservative beings, right? Like they want to conserve energy. They don't want to put in too much effort where they don't feel like it's worth it, you know? Mm-hmm. And the idea here is like any woman, and especially these stupid black women that are saying like, oh, I need 100, I need 1,000, I need whatever, right? It's like, bro, what in your life makes you think that you're even worth that much, right?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, did you see her? I'm like, do you see yourself, sweetheart?
Yeah.
Like, okay, maybe that white girl at the end, you know, the first video, I was like, I can see why she's charging money. Why? Because I guarantee you rich niggas are in her DMs all the time. She's been on yachts, shit like that. It is because of, and you've said it before, it's like the weak men.
Yeah.
The idea of the weak man where they're just willing to throw money at a girl just to get her wherever they are and to spend time with her and all this kind of stuff. It is that mindset that is like really created this.
Yes.
Because I truly believe the only reason that they feel this way is because there has been a guy that's done it.
Yeah.
There's been a guy that's done it. It's like, bro, what the fuck are you men doing, bro?
Yeah.
You guys sit here and you guys get at me over here. Oh, well, we can't be nice. When I tell you, don't buy a bitch things for doing nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, this is what you get.
Yeah. For all you motherfucking hourly wage workers, all the people that like to watch their money, I want you to put into perspective, when you go on a date, how long does it take you to earn the money back from that date? And do you feel like it was worth it from that point on, right? Like, say it's a $300 date. Well, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but the people that I sit down with, right, they can their hourly wages range from anywhere from 20 to 40 to 50, right? An hour, right? So at the very minimum, what is it? Fucking, 6 hours of work, right? Is the very minimum that it would take a man making 50 an hour to be able to afford said date to whatever $300 dinner, right? On the lower end, I'm not gonna do the math for the fucking. For the 20 an hour, it's like 15 hours, right? So more than a day's worth of work, right? And you're telling me that for these women that are asking for these deposits, you want me to front for the 20 an hour 5 hours of my work life to spend an hour with you, or maybe 2 hours, right? You're saying that simply spending a couple hours on a coffee date, each hour is worth $75 to you? Fuck no, dude.
That's crazy.
The math is not mathing, right? Because women lie, men lie, numbers do not lie, right? If you are any of the men, right, that are now I understand for like some of the richer folks, right? If you are not spending any money and this woman is just coming along for the ride, that's different, right? If you own a yacht and you're like, I'm going to be partying on my yacht, if you want to come get yourself here, that's fine. You know what I mean? We can spend time doing that, and then like, oh, I need to have like a woman's gonna be like, oh, I need to have a man take me out to his yacht, yada yada yada. That's different, right? Or if you have spent enough time to know like she can't afford it, I'll help her because I like her. She's shown some type of investment into me. That's different. But the idea here is if you do the math on what it costs to do a date or a deposit or whatever, right? Whatever nice activity you want to do, like, oh, I'm just trying to be nice. If that equivalates to more than a couple hours of work, and that's something that you have to do consistently throughout a week, like you got to start thinking of the math a little bit harder, right? And you women that think like, oh, just because I have a fucking pair of tits, or like I'm cute or whatever, I'm entitled to that. Oh my God. It pisses me off because there's men out there that are like, dude, I'm not worth anything, dude. Like,
man,
they take their own fucking life because they're like, dude, I'm not worth anything. Like, there's no point in me going on, yada, yada, yada. And on the flip side of that, there's a woman out there that's like, I have done absolutely fucking nothing in life, and my hours are worth $150-$200 an hour. I'm worth $200 an hour if a man wants to fucking spend time with me, dude. There's some ass backwards mindsets out there, and you men need to start adopting some of this shit, dude. Honestly.
Yeah, man. Like the audacity of women today is crazy, and it's just like that's why I tell dudes all the time. I'm like, bro, have some self-respect for yourself, man.
Yes.
Like, don't give these women that power over you. I don't understand why dudes are just so willing to just get on their knees and grovel and all this and that, and it's like. I understand people would sit there and be like, oh, for pussy, bro, for pussy. That's why they do it. And it's like, I get that, but you need to also understand that they still don't have to do that for pussy.
Yes.
They can go find a girl that actually likes them. They can find a girl that actually wants to spend time with them and be with them and find them attractive and all that kind of stuff with the things that they like, stuff like that. And, you know, obviously there's things, you know, you change. You obviously, you know, you want to present yourself in a good way, dress well, have a, you know, good haircut, hygiene is important, all that kind of stuff. Because I think a lot of guys really need to work on that first before they're even, talking to a woman.
Yes.
But the thing is it's like, dude, you should hold yourself to that same value that women hold themselves to. Because women out here that aren't worth shit are holding themselves to the highest value. It's insane. And that's why you get women like that second girl. Like, do you see how ugly that girl is? I'm sorry to say it, but she's not that pretty, bro. She is not over here talking about, if you want to go on a coffee date, then that's fine, but I'm going to need $150. Like, bitch, you're not even worth $5.
And I can guarantee you, once you get on that date, they're boring as fucking shit,
bro.
Yeah, they're going to say the same fucking things, either about horoscopes, about fucking this color, fucking Mars being in retrograde, or whatever the fuck, bro. And you're telling me I paid $150 to listen to the same conversation about fucking horoscopes or fucking planets, stars.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Yeah. Pilates or whatever you fucking women are doing. You know what I mean? Like, that shit is fucking ass. Yeah, because the thing is if you pay that $150, you're going to get exactly that. Yes. You're just going to get a boring ass conversation instead of going out with a girl that actually does like you, who is going to try to put effort into making the conversation interesting for you as the man as well. Like, us as men, we're already going to try to make the conversation interesting for ourselves. You know what I mean? It's up to the woman to kind of like bounce off that and continue the conversation being interesting. So, but if you pay a girl, bro, odds are she's not really going to respect you in the way of like, all right, I don't really have to give this guy my attention. I don't really have to give him a good conversation. I don't have to do any of that. I can just be boring as fuck. I still got my money and I don't really care. Yeah. You know, that date's you're pretty much paying to go on a horrible date. Yeah. Yeah. It's the exact same thing as if you to get an interview, you had to pay a deposit. No one would go to that job. No one would pay money to go to an interview. Yeah, if you had to pay, think about it like this. If you had to pay $150 to apply to McDonald's, would you apply? Fuck no. McDonald's would be shut the fuck down. It would be. Nobody would work at McDonald's because nobody would pay $150 on the chance to get a job at McDonald's. Yes. They just wouldn't do it.
Sorry to say it.
Or even Arby's. I don't know how they're in business. But
I know.
If you had to pay $150 to work at Arby's, that's exactly what's happening here.
Oh, 100%.
Paying $150 to get a chance at some Arby's.
Yeah, like, bro, that's crazy. To put a hat on and put the fries in the bag.
No, dude. And there's men that will do it, and that's the problem.
Yes.
There's men that'll do it, and that's the fucking problem.
Yes,
bro.
man. Like, look, we can laugh at women all day. We
Yeah.
can call them delusional all day. We can do all that. But if you're not looking at the base of the problem, which is the men that are giving them money to do this, because like I said, the women that are doing this and saying this, they only believe it because guess what? Either their friend has gotten it, they see these dumb bitches online getting it, or they've gotten it themselves. It's one of the three.
Yep.
It's one of the three. It's always that. But this next video, I want to ask you a question. When somebody tells you that someone needs to have emotional intelligence, what do you think about that?
I think it's very interesting because it depends on who it's coming from. A lot of people have now started to use these buzzwords as like armor or like weapons against their own personality traits. And so that's what I don't really like about a lot of these like narcissists, avoidant, fucking like red flag, green flag, ick, like all those type of like buzzword type words have started to really lose their meaning because people pick up on these things and just start running with them, right? So when I hear someone say like, oh, they need to be more emotionally intelligent, I'd be curious as to know exactly what they mean because it's very subjective based on your actual intellect level. And that's just a longer way of me saying, you know, if you're stupid, you shouldn't be using words like that anyways, really.
Oh, yeah, because it's just terminology to make them sound more intellectual than they actually are.
Yeah.
Like, sorry to say it, you know what I mean? Like, you're using a phrase that doesn't exist. That's not real. You took two words and mashed them together, and because the word intelligent is in there, you think, oh, that's a smart saying. It's like, no, bro, fucking automatopoeia sounds intelligent, but it don't really mean much.
It just means it's the word you use for sound effects, like their words. You know what I mean,
that's what I'm saying. It's like, bro, like, yeah, you can be like, oh yeah, that's very serendipitous.
Yeah,
like, all right, bro, that it may sound intelligent, but it doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And so I love this video and how they broke down men are not emotionally intelligent. This was something I was just like, I agree with 1,000%.
Recently, there's been a lot of articles pointing out how men are far less emotionally intelligent than women and how that's been ruining their relationships.
Oh, yeah. You know, I always say the wife's more intelligent than me. Emotionally, of course.
You know, it's unfortunate, but it's a department that we lack in. Last week, we're at the airport. Our plane gets delayed an hour, whereas my natural instinct would be to say, it is what it is, there's nothing we can do. Brittany had the emotional intelligence to realize this is a big deal. We should be arguing with anyone who will listen, and in general, just going ballistic, regardless of whether or not it'll help.
Look, it's not about whether or not it helps.
No.
For example, say you plan an outdoor event and it begins to rain. An emotionally unintelligent person like myself might suggest some sort of alternative or contingency, or maybe we'll do it on another day, as opposed to realizing that this is in fact the end of the world and you should be flying off the handle.
You know, whether you're reading an article about COVID coming back or your Uber Eats driver brings you the wrong order, we as men do not have the emotional intelligence to realize that not only is this something we should be freaking out about, but we should also be becoming actively hostile to others who are remaining calm. Recently,
I fucking love that, bro.
Yeah.
And I saw it, I was just like, yes, because, dude, the thing is the idea of who's more emotional, men or women, or who has the more emotional intelligence or whatever, I honestly say that men are actually more emotionally intelligent, if you will, or they are more or they are less emotional, and for good reason. You want to know why? Is because men, when we walk around and we interact with each other and we see each other, men collectively, this is I would say 99.9% of men, and that's including gay men and everything, we have this innate know that for us, if I were to get in an altercation with this man, it can lead to my or his death. Possibly. So we have an innate respect for each other. That's why a lot of girls, and your wife has probably done this, where you're walking with your wife, right? And some black dude, or not even black dude, just a dude in general, he walks past you and he's like, he gives you a little head nod, and you do the same thing, or you're like, and she'll go to you and be like, Michael, do you know that guy? do you know? And you're like, no, I don't know that guy. But the thing is Michael and that guy understand that we have an innate respect for each other, because if we don't and we get into a fight and altercation, it can either end in my death or his.
Yeah.
We have that ability of that level of violence within our bodies to be able to end another person's life. Women don't get this, though, because they don't really fight like that. They scratch each other, pull each other's hair, and they slap each other, and then they walk away from it, and nothing really matters. It's like, yeah, they're still mad at each other, and then that's that. Men, though, it's why men don't hold grudges. It's the reason why men don't get into arguments as often. It's the reason why men, you'll see guys get into an argument one day and then the next day they're homies, is because we understand and we have the emotional intelligence to understand that, bro, me fighting that man could be the end of my life potentially, and I'm not going to risk that. Yeah. So I'm just going to show a moderate level of respect for him. I don't got to like the guy. I don't got to be his friend or nothing, but I'm going to show him a moderate level of respect, so that way I understand that, hey, I'm not trying to get into a situation like that, but women, I guess they just don't understand that. They just think like, nah, I'm just going to be erratic and explode. That's why he said, I'm going to start fights with anybody that I see, or I'm just going to be erratic and just yell and do all this and all that. Like, women can do that. Why? Because they don't have the capacity for violence the way that we do.
Yeah. I would say that it all so for myself personally, I would say emotional intelligence really just stems from the idea of being able to be a smart, objective thinker, right? Mm-hmm. And the idea here is, like you said, objectively, women feel the emotion. They're like, whatever I do is what is objectively the best course of action, because there's no repercussions for me, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas men have the ability to think, okay, I'm angry. What is my body trying to tell me? Is this worth dying over? No. Okay. So I'm going to then do what I can do that will help the situation objectively become more like, will become either like safer, have a better outcome, whatever the case may be. Because the idea, like you said, is if it comes down to it and you're in an altercation that could end your life, is it going to be something that's worth dying over? You have to figure that out. You have to have the emotional intelligence to understand, I'm angry. How angry am I going to be from this? And is it worth dying over?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas women, and again, this is what we talk about with the idea of, when I say it's very important to pick your partners wisely, not based off of solely what they look like, right? That's what gets the foot in the door, but you really need to do the evaluation, is because, like in a video I was going to show a little bit later, is women will sign your death certificate and not worry, and then they'll fuck on your grave, essentially, right?
Damn.
The idea is... Damn. If you have a woman that says, I don't give a fuck how angry I get, I have my man to protect me, you need to run away. And I get it. The idea is you want your girl to think you're bulletproof, but the idea is still you're not bulletproof, right? Even you can go as far and wide as you want, right? Andrew Tate, Dan Bulgarian, pretty much any high status, high value man you want to pull up, they have all said the same thing, where, like he said, you walk into a room, you'll see another individual, you'll give him the downward nod, meaning like, hey, I have respect for you, right? An upward nod is, hey, I trust you. A downward nod is, hey, I respect you, because you will know in a crowd who is going to be the biggest threat. And if you guys share that mutual level of respect for each other, that is saying like, hey, I deem you as a equal, if not slightly more advantageous threat to me, we need to have the respect right now before anything happens that we're not going to fuck with each other because we don't want to be in that situation, right? And that's having the emotional intelligence of, no matter what happens around me, I'm going to think of things logically versus blowing up, flying off the handle, doing whatever like some women will do, where they're like, oh, well, they know it's not fair, you know, and they start fucking doing whatever, scratching whatever, because they're not the ones ending each other's lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? You, of course, are going to start bitching at some man like, oh, and then, oh, I just throw my man at him. And it's like, dude, you could get me fucking killed. And then, like I said, what's going to happen next is you're going to go fuck on my grave, dude. You're going to be so sad, so, oh, I can't believe he died. He fucking, you know, and then someone else is like, damn, baby girl, I know he died, but it wouldn't happen to me, though. And like, oh, you're so right. And then fuck on my grave.
And then here's a video that is showing exactly what he's talking about, all right? It's funny that you say that. Here's a video of literally a woman getting into a fight with a guy, and then her boyfriend has to step in, fight this guy, and then she starts crying.
Yep.
What he's saying is facts, bro. There ain't no caps in his raps. Yeah. There's no caps in his raps, bro. When he says a bitch will sign your death certificate and then fuck on your grave, bro, it's the truth.
It's the truth.
It's the facts, bro.
Yep.
It is the absolute facts, bro.
And then what? I sent another one in here that was that relates to this too. It wasn't necessarily fighting, but it's still the importance of who you keep around you, right? It's not that one. It is that one there.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
This is another example of it's important to pick your partner accurately and with competency, right? So.
Worlds are really interesting because if you look here, it's hard, but as soon as I come over here,
pull him out!
Nope.
What is she doing?
Nope. And that's what I'm getting at, bro. She's you're dying right. Yes, you're dying right in front of her. She's
yo. She laughed at her man dying. This man was dying, bro. Legitimately dying. It's not like this was some controlled experience. No, he was legitimately dying.
Yes.
In the two examples that we showed, that man at the baseball game could have fucking died, mind you.
Yes.
All it takes is a pocket knife. Chip, done.
Yep. Done.
That's it.
Yep.
You know, that dude, it could have, if he didn't have his footing, he would have sunk straight down.
Straight down.
And she would have been like, is he okay?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he died.
Yep.
Bro.
Another prime example, I think I spoke about it before. It happened to me not me specifically, but I heard about it. It was close to me when I was working on base. There's a beach on the military base that I used to work at, right? A gentleman took a girl out at night to swim. He went out and got caught in a riptide, died.
Damn.
The woman was still stuck on the beach and was like, well, GG's.
Damn.
Nothing I could do about it. And it's like, dude, again, you got to be, and granted, right, I'm not expecting her in that situation to go swim out and save him. But the idea is, you got to be careful what you're doing around your girl because they're not going to be of any fucking help.
They're not.
Especially if they cause an altercation with the idea in mind that they're just going to throw you at whatever consequences come. So it's like you got to really pick your battles, one, very, very with precision, and two, your partners too, because showing out for these women, trying to puff your chest, whatever, is gonna get you killed. And
it really is.
Again,
bro.
she'll cry, then fuck at your grave. You know what I mean?
Man. Like that first girl did. She just sat there. She cried. You know what I mean? Like to some dude that wasn't her man, by the way.
Yeah.
That's why when you said They will sign your death certificate and they will fuck on your grave.
Yeah.
The fact that she turned to another man and started crying because her man is now tussling with another guy, that's crazy to me.
Yes.
And this is a fight that, for one, you started. Yeah. For two, he was trying to get you away from the altercation. He put himself in between you and the threat. Yeah. Like, bro, I don't know what else the man had to do, and you went to another dude crying to him. Yep. Like, bro, I'm being dead serious, bro. This is one of those things where it's just like, dude, and I'm about to show you guys another example of just why you got to keep your girl in check and be careful of who you date. Because what we're about to see is a guy who literally lets his girl get out of the car, do some crazy shit, and then go back to the car because she's scared. Nope. All right, we're about to watch this shit. This shit was insane.
What the fuck?
What the fuck is she doing?
Getting her Flint Lockwood run on.
Oh damn! The fuck? Oh hell no! Oh hell no! Hey, bitch! Oh, open that shit up! Open that shit up! What the fuck is wrong with your crazy ass, bitch?
Oh, she's fucked.
Yeah, they going to go chase
What
after
is you doing?
And where
Fuck
is she
is
going?
you doing?
Back to her man's car.
Bro, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? Hey, come over.
Back to her man's car.
What the fuck? Hey, get the hey, pull the fuck over.
See what I mean?
She's lucky too.
Because think about it, bro. What if these two niggas had a gun?
Yeah.
What if they had a gun and they shot him in the car?
Yeah.
Because of what she did?
Yeah.
She got out of this man's car, out of her boyfriend's car. She walked into the middle of the fucking intersection, throwing a fit, this and that. Because these guys videotape, she goes and destroys their car. And then when these guys start to retaliate, where does she go? She goes to run back to him. Yeah. Protect me! Oh, drive off! What if he had a gun, bro? Yeah. And he literally sat there and said, bah, bah! Yeah. Laid him out in the front seat because his girl.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro.
And that's where I kind of expected this to go. Is like either she was gonna get really, really fucked up, or they probably would have fucking drew on the other dude and fucking lit him up, and then she, of course, would have been in the passenger seat like, oh my god, it was so scary. Okay, let's go fuck at his grave. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like, I guarantee it would not take more than a week for her to get over the death of that man and fucking be in the arms of someone else.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. And that's, look, like, we've shown now 3 examples.
Yeah.
3 examples, 3 different examples. You can't sit here and tell me that, dude, it's like you need to, women are not the ones that have emotional intelligence. It's men. Then the reason being is because women are not afraid of violence the way that men are. Yeah. Men understand that when violence is a option or a probability, we can possibly die. Women don't have that fear because guess what? When women fight, nothing really happens. They pull each other's hair, they scratch each other, they slap each other, and then they walk away mad. But for men, it's not the same. For men, we know that this can be imminent death. I guarantee you, when she got in his car, he was like, what the fuck, bitch?
Yeah.
Like, what if that guy had a gun? Yeah. What if he had a gun and he shot me? Like, then what would you do? You know what I mean? Because then they would have got you because I'm dead in the front seat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm steering wheeled and you're dashboarded.
Oh my god, yes.
Just both
eating that horn, eating that fucking dashboard,
bro,
man.
Just both dead in the front seat. Why? Because you decided to vandalize somebody's property because you're mad.
Mad about what?
You know, like, bro, you have to understand, like, people nowadays, especially when you fuck with their car.
Yeah.
Okay, when you fuck with their car, bro, people will get mad at that. Yeah. Doesn't matter who you are. And if they have the capacity to end your life, they can go to that level. Yeah. And that's the way it goes, bro. Yeah, man. Like I said, hey, there ain't no caps on our raps, baby. That's 3 different examples of the fact that women don't have emotional intelligence, it's men that do, bro.
And this is just what we can show on the podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we had some of the X videos or Twitter videos, whatever you want to call them, like that would be more realistic examples of like, hey, like you really should not be out here just fucking with anyone. You know what I mean? Like, it's but that's besides the point. The idea is still, man, you got to be more selective. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You guys fucking, you know, you want to fucking get some cheeks, yada yada, but like, no cheeks is worth your life.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no cheeks are worth your life. And that's why I always say, like, don't fuck with a girl that's got a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't. I get it, bro. It may the sneaking around is this and that, and I don't got to worry about this. Nah, bro, it's not worth it. Because if that nigga bust in your house and start doing some shit, man, you just never know.
Yes.
You never know, man. You never know. But yeah, bro. All right, man, that's going to be the video segment of today's episode. You guys let us know what you thought about all the videos we gone over today and the topics that we talked about and all that good stuff. Let us know down in the comments. And if you do disagree with us, man, the world is crazy out there, and you got to just be smart. You really do. You got to be smart nowadays. And I think the advent of the internet is great because it lets you kind of see the crazy shit that's going out in the world. And it helps you be vigilant to it and understand, like, if, you know, I've seen situations like this and I know how like catastrophic it can end. So I know how to not get into that catastrophic position. And so, yeah, man. So we're going to hop through announcements and then we're going to get on today's scenario. So patreon.com/MyThatSoulPodcast, get an exclusive episode every single month, as well as our free Patreon episode. Go ahead and follow us keep downloading the episodes on your preferred listening platform. Thank you guys so much for all the downloads and all of the support you guys have been showing. We really appreciate that so very, very much. So keep downloading the episodes. Rate us 5 stars on your preferred platform. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. All of that helps out a lot. Follow him on his Instagram and his TikToks. Links are down in the descriptions for both of those. And yeah, man, let's keep showing him some support. He's going to start rolling out some clips and stuff like that. You're going to have to start rolling them out now.
Yeah.
You know, people are following the channel, so you got to start rolling some stuff out now. But yeah, so he'll start rolling things out and getting that going. And yeah, man, come out to the live streams every single Monday that we have, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come hang out with your boy, talk to us, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll be doing that. And then yeah, anything you have to add before we get into the scenarios?
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it. Let's get into them.
All right, cool. Let's do it. All right, we have our first one. Bailing out my ex after he dumped me for his coworker.
Interesting.
Oh no. This one, Jesus. All right. I'm a 25-year-old woman. I was with my ex, 27 male, for nearly 5 years. Throughout that entire relationship, I was basically his safety net. When he was between jobs, I paid our rent repeatedly, bought groceries, and handled some of his personal expenses. I showed up for him in every single time he needed emotional support, money, or just someone in his corner. Then, about a year ago, he ended things, said we were heading down different paths. Found out shortly after that he'd already started seeing someone from his office. It stung, but I processed it and kept moving forward. Good job. Good for you. Last week, he texted me out of the blue. He said he'd been laid off and was in a rough spot money-wise. He wanted to know if I'd loan him some cash because, in his words, I was the only one who ever truly had his back. I said no. Good. That is what he deserves.
That's perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
She said no and fucking laughed in his face. Yeah. Now some of our shared friends are calling me heartless. They know I'm financially stable and they keep bringing up how I used to say I loved him. My stance is simple. He walked away from us when he made that choice. He also walked away from everything that came with being my partner, including me as his fallback. So, am I wrong for bailing out my ex after he dumped me for his coworker?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. The fact that you let your fucking bird brain friends fucking guilt trip you into some bullshit,
Yeah.
I'd been like, you do it then, since you feel like it's such a important, such a pertinent thing. Like, yeah, I loved him when he was with me.
Mm-hmm.
I stood on business. He's his own man. You feel like he should be out of there. You do it then.
Facts.
No. Well, why not? Why don't you want to do it? Well, because he didn't ask me. Okay, I'll tell him to ask you. I'll tell him to ask you then.
But hey, Sarah said that she would
help you out. Yeah,
go ahead and hit her up.
Go ahead, hit her up. Here's her number. Sarah said she'll. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't get it then. Oh, is it just because it affects me instead? Those chicks are not your friends. Get new friends.
Bruh.
Yeah, you got rid of the boyfriend. That was great, right? That was fantastic.
Yeah, because honestly, that dude was such a loser, bro.
Yes.
He was such a loser. The fact that you were paying the rent, you were taking care of his expenses, he was asking for asking you for money. Oh, we already know he was a loser, bro.
A loser.
We already know he was a loser because it's like, dude, if you got to sit there and have your girl paying all your expenses and groceries and all this kind of stuff, it's like, bro, that's crazy. What are you doing? What are you doing as a man?
Yes.
You know what I mean? What are you doing to contribute to what you got going on? Like, I get it if he's in between jobs. Sure, I understand that. I think that was very valiant of you to do that while he's in between jobs. But the moment that motherfucker gets a job, bro, it's time to get up on that high horse and do what you got to do, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to do what you got to do. You can't sit there. And it's crazy to me that he was the one that left her.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. He left her. Like,
He
nigga.
said, hey, I mean, the one fuck. I can't think of the word. I was going to say the one, I guess, green flag, if you will, because I can't think of the word, is he didn't just outright cheat, right? He was like, I'm going to leave you for some other cheeks. He wasn't that straight up about it, but he was like, we're headed down different paths. Mine leads into my coworker's cheeks. Yours is to better men, right? That's what, that was valiant of him, I guess, if you will. But that's
the only that's the only thing I can take away is like being good on his end, but everything else was shitty.
Yeah.
And I think you're correct on the fact that, see, look, it's only when you're in the position of taking care of somebody that you start to realize that, hey, guess what? You're not entitled to what I used to do for you. Because look, a lot of women sit there and they will champion the idea of like, oh, I used to be your wife, so you still have to take care of me. I used to be your girlfriend, so you still have to pay for things that you used to pay for. And women will champion that shit until they're the ones that are in the position of paying for somebody else. Once they're paying for somebody else and that somebody else breaks up with them or leaves them or whatever the case may be, and then they come back talking about, oh, can you help me out with this and da-da-da, and they say no, all of a sudden they're like, oh, what? Oh, that's so mean and this and that. And it's like, no. Welcome to manhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like the video last week where, all these, studs and all these lesbians and whatnot are just like, oh, what the fuck? What's going on? Why are women da-da-da-da? And it's like, bro, because when you're in the male masculine role of providing, it's one of those things where you kind of understand and you see that, okay, if I'm dealing with you and I love you and I care about you and we're in this together, yes, I have no problem providing for you. But the moment you decide to leave and go off and think you can do better in this and that, doesn't matter if it's male or female, bro, I'm not providing for you anymore.
Yep.
You left.
Yep.
Goodbye. Go ask your girlfriend for money.
Yep.
Because I guarantee that bitch ain't gonna give you money, and that's why you over here asking me for money.
Yep.
Like, nah, you're not in the wrong. You are not wrong that.
Well, I think she did. She say she did it right? She did bail him out. At the end. Because she said, "Am I wrong for bailing him out?"
No, well, I mean, in the title it says bailing out my ex after he dumped me, but when we read it, it doesn't say that she bailed him out.
Yeah, that's true. I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, because she's at the end, she says verbatim, my stance is simple. He walked away from us. When he made that choice, he also walked away from everything that came with being my partner, including having me as his fallback.
Right.
That's what she ends it with. And then she says, so am I wrong in not bailing out my... Okay, so she corrects it.
At the bottom. At the bottom. So, no, you're not wrong. That's great that you didn't bail him out. you need to get rid of your friends that are saying you should bail them out, because they are targeting you for I don't know what reason, but they want your downfall too.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do. They want your downfall like crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there, but your friends definitely have your worst interest at heart.
Yeah.
And they need to go do something else.
Yeah, bro. Because
they need to bail that man out.
Yeah. I agree. I 100% with you. It's like if you guys think that he needs to be bailed out so bad, you do it.
Yeah,
you do it. I agree with that 1,000%. You guys let us know what you think about that one in the comments. All right, on to our next one. Girlfriend's best friend. Oh,
interesting.
Man.
Is it going to be one of those sink the hip moments? Oh my god.
Oh, bro, I don't know. I don't know, man.
I'm just gonna play it preemptively.
Okay, so how it started was my girlfriend and her best friend, who I've always found attractive, got into a fight, and I did not know of. So a couple of weeks pass, and hold on. So a couple of weeks pass by, and I see a message from her best friend popping up on my screen. It was about the fight and told me we needed to talk at her place, and I couldn't tell my girlfriend. So, not really thinking anything of it, I went, and as soon as I saw her dressed in tight flare pants, which made her ass look even bigger, and tight at the top, which made her boobs jiggle. And when she walked, when she welcomed me nicely and told me she wasn't, she told me she wasn't home alone, so it would be best to go to her bedroom so we wouldn't get interrupted, which made me slightly think about what could happen. Nevertheless, I entered her room and she forgot to take an extra chair. So, man, y'all need to proofread this shit. God damn. So she forgot to take in an extra chair. So I just stood in the door opening. That's how that should have been read, but okay. She walks back through the door while I stood there, and she made sure that she was up against me. So after a minute or so, she comes back saying she can't find a chair, but if I don't mind, she would sit on my lap. I looked strange, but agreed, because what was the worst that could happen, right? It was her best friend. Or it was my girlfriend's best friend, is what he meant to say. As she sat, she started moving a lot with her hips, slightly moving more onto my crotch each time while she was explaining, and the topic changes. Let's see. I told her it's because of fashion, blah, blah, blah. She responds with not because of a different reason. Dude, what is the point in this? Like, I tell her that's the reason, but she doesn't believe me and says, I know the reason. Your girlfriend told me all about it. For me, that was so hot for her to know what I was packing. Okay, what are you talking about, bro?
I think he's trying to say the conversation shifted into them talking about his junk.
Okay, so I guess the conversation got more sexually
charged. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, because you're just talking about a whole bunch of like, she's talking about my dick is big and this and that, and bro, it's like we don't need all the details to that, bro. Like, you're kind of just wasting my time with that shit. Okay, so I'm just kind of skimming through it. She's feeling you up. She touched your dick. But she got your underwear off. She was complimenting your dick, this and that. She makes a bet saying that she could do better. Okay, so pretty much.
What's his question? Is his question like, was that appropriate?
That's what I'm thinking. He said he's asking if I was cheating. So he's asking if he was cheating. That's what.
Did he say how old he was?
He was no, he didn't say how old he was. He just no, he's 19. He's 19.
Oh,
he said that he's 19.
So you're stupid. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he said he was 19. Yeah. So okay, hold on. I said we can't do that. We can't do that to my girlfriend, but she made sure that she was in charge now because of that bet. She undressed and started shaking her butt and this and that. I slowly did that. Like you get he wants to make this into
a porno.
Yeah, because he's just like, yeah, I slid my dick in her and she was stretched around me and this. Bro, we don't need all that extra shit, bro. We don't.
Fuck, bro.
Like, I don't know why you're adding all this extra shit in there, but okay, so pretty much his girlfriend and her best friend got into a fight. The girlfriend's friend then calls him over to her house. They go to the room, they hook up. He now feels like, she was the one that spurred all these advances on. She was the one that, initiated the sex and this and that. We had sex. You know what I mean? Is it cheating? And it's like,
that's is having sex with your girl's best friend cheating? That's his question?
I guess so.
This nigga is stupid.
Bro, you're the fucking stupidest person ever.
You are stupid.
Why?
And you just outed yourself.
Yeah.
You fucking idiot.
Bro, you're fucking dumb.
You're fucking dumb, dude.
Like
you
absolutely wasted our time with this this scenario, bro. You fucking wasted our time with this scenario. You really did, bro. You first off, you have shitty grammar, bro. Let's be real. I had to correct your fucking sentences so many times. 2, you tried to make this into a porno and, all this shit. Look, I get it. You're probably into the Thursday episodes of the books and stuff like that we do. I get that. That's fine. But, bro, don't write me scenarios making this into a fucking porno. Oh, yeah, she sat on my dick and moved it around and then unzipped my pants and did this. Like, bro, I'm sorry, man. You're not a main character in one of these books, bro.
Oh,
you're just not.
God.
Stop. That, like... If you guys continue to do that shit, I'm not going to feature you on the show. I'm just not. That is a waste of my fucking time. That is a fucking ridiculous shit. Like, get to the point and ask me the question. Give me the details. Get to the point and ask me the fucking thing. We're not.
Details that are relevant.
Yeah, that's all irrelevant. You having sex with her and your dick is big and stretching her pussy and all that, bro. That's irrelevant. Okay, I'm not even gonna continue this scenario. We are not gonna give you advice. We're not gonna say anything more on this. We're just moving on to the next one. I don't ever want to see somebody do this ever again on the show. Okay, I do not ever want to see this on my show ever again. I swear to God, I will not feature you people on the show doing this stuff ever again. All right, I don't want that. It's ridiculous to me. Don't waste my time with that. All right, we're getting on to the next one. I cheated on my boyfriend and I want to become better. Oh, bro.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Bro, you don't want to become better. like come on, bro.
Let's just give her the benefit of the doubt.
All right. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. All right. I cheated on my 2-year boyfriend. It was the first time something like this happened. I was always loyal.
Cap.
Stop the cap.
It was the first time something like this happened. I was always loyal. I felt very remorseful. It was my fault. I was supposed to go meet up my friends. I was super drunk. She asked me if I want to watch her have sex with some random guy. Oh, Lordy. I didn't want to do anything since the start, but agreed to go just for the fun. But during it, the guy seemed to toff me. He liked me more than my friend. He forced kissed me, yanked my head, and tried to forcibly push his head on my dick. I didn't do anything. I didn't move my head away. I hated it so much, and it all felt non-consensual. I love my boyfriend a lot, and I told, oh, that's what she's trying. She put tolf, and I'm like, what the fuck? All right, she typoed, it's told. I told her and I didn't want to do any of that. I feel super guilty, but if I tell him the truth, he will leave me. Rightfully fucking so, stupid. Immediately, no questions asked. I still want to be with him, and I know he will never understand non-consensual kiss, but I don't know how to explain it. I just don't want to lose him, and I am trying to become a better person and promise things like this will never happen again. What should I do? I cried every night. I feel so bad, although I know I didn't consent to any of the things that happened. But I also know if I tell him what happened, he will leave me straight away. What do I genuinely do? I want to become a better person. What do you think she should do, Rig 4? Because it was non-consensual. You know, look, I understand it being non-consensual, but the fact that you put yourself in that position, it shows consent to the guys. The guy's there. The guy's there looking at it like, oh, yeah. Like, you could have just not went. You didn't even want to go, but you did. So they kind of look at it like, well, she's here and doing stuff, so this guy is going to be here doing stuff. Like, you should have kind of, I get you're trying to play the whole I was drunk, but look, even a drunk person can think logically and understand, you know what, this ain't a really good idea. My friend wants to go to this thing and do all that stuff. That's fine. But I'm not going to put myself in that position. I'm going to go home, you know, knowing you didn't want to do anything in the first place. Like, I get it. It's like you got to put some, and I think you do. I'm not saying that she isn't. I'm sure she's putting a lot of, accountability on herself, like, dang, I shouldn't have been there, I shouldn't have did that, you know what I mean, even though it was non-consensual. That's why she's saying, I felt guilty, I felt bad, I was crying, I want to be a better person. And so I think, you know, she does understand that, but it's like, you know, to all of that, you're gonna have to tell it your guy eventually. I mean, if he finds this out about somebody else, he's gonna be even more mad.
I mean, I think that's what it all boils down to, is regardless if it was consensual or not, if your boyfriend can't understand that, like, it wasn't consensual and there's some steps that he could work on to, like, hey, you might just be stupid and need to work on yourself, then, you know, you're just gonna have to bite the bullet and accept that. You know what I mean? You can't control what other people do, no matter how you want to spin things, or like what you want to happen, or, like, you know, whatever the case may be. Is the idea is, if you want to be a better person, part of that being a better person is never putting yourself in that scenario again, being honest about it, and then just moving forward with, you know, if he stays with you, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's not anything you can do at this point, right?
Yeah.
You now know in your mind that if, you know, my friend and I go out and she asks me to do that shit again, I'm not doing that, right? I wouldn't say I agree with the idea of, like, because you're watching, Heath in his mind should get the idea that, like, you also want to participate, you know? That whole scenario is just kind of weird, right? Like, I've never seen a female cuck before, but the idea of, like, your friend wanting you to cuck for some reason, even though it's not cucking because you're not related to the dude in any way, but I don't get what her purpose was of having you there, like, hey, be there and watch us. And
that's why I say it's like, if you're gonna go, and even if you're just watching, well, the guys are gonna assume that you want to participate too, just the fact that you're here. So they're gonna look at it like, oh yeah, you know, since you're watching, you want to join in, you want to do that. Like, it's just kind of assumed. And so then that's what put her in that tough position of these guys kissing on her, forcing, you know, her head down and all that kind of stuff. It's like, dude, you got to understand that even putting yourself in the cuck chair, so to speak, it just implies that you want to join in, that you want to do all that. And that's the only reason why I say that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it puts implication.
There's gray area there, but the point is, the best case scenario is, like, I mean, like, how would you feel if your boyfriend went out, got drunk, and was watching, you know, one of his fucking female friends get fucked, or one of his guy friends fuck a girl? Yeah, I mean, you'd probably be like, why do you want to see another girl naked? Like, why were you there? Yada yada yada.
Exactly.
And then, like, you were about to say is, like, imagine he fucking got his head pushed down and was like, oh shit, dude, like, you know, she forced herself on me and she wanted me to eat it.
You would sit there and not take that. You'd be like, no, I'm not fucking believing you. You wanted to be there.
Yeah.
You wanted to be there. You wanted to do those things. You wanted that girl to kiss you. You wanted that girl to go down on you. Like, and that's why I say you need to take some responsibility on the fact that you were there. It doesn't matter if this was consensual or not. It's the fact that you are there. Because if your boyfriend was in that same position and a girl was forcing herself onto him, you would feel the same way. You would tell him, why were you there? Why did you even go? Why didn't you just go home? You're not gonna care about the consent at all. You're gonna look at it like, why were you there? And that's how he's gonna look at it. He's gonna be like, well, why were you there?
Yeah.
I don't care about if you consented or not. Why were you there in the first place? Yeah. Knowing that this is what was about to happen.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So
it just it does imply being single or being open. So it's like you really should have thought more about, like, I get it, your friend probably was like, please, 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 or whatever, but it's like, dude, like, you don't gotta listen to your friends.
You really don't.
And I think that's part of the part that's in your character that really caused all of this, is like you clearly get peer pressured very easily. So it's like, yeah, you didn't even consent to watching, but you got pressured into it. And then there's the other part of, like, he fucking forced himself on you and you didn't stop it either. So it's like, the way you become better is by stopping the allowance of pressure getting to you. I mean, and then you're going to have to bite the bullet and probably not be with your boyfriend.
Yeah, we're sorry to say it, but that's going to be an inevitability.
Yeah.
He's not going to sit here and take this as like, oh, no, it's fine, babe. It's all good. Now, you know.
He might be a cuck.
That's what I'm saying. I was just about to say that. We've had a lot of guys. Dude, last week's episode. God, it was Cuck City.
It was Cuck City last week. Yeah.
Golly. So, look, it's just one of those things where it's like, look, talk to your boyfriend. Tell him. If he, for some reason, realizes or figures out that you guys can get in through this or whatever, you know, then you can get through it. But if he leaves like you think he's going to, you got to accept that. And know that you are the reason. Your actions were the reasons why he left. Because you could have went home. You could have just left. And always, when you come to these kind of dilemmas, put yourself in their shoes. What if your boyfriend did exactly what you were doing? You know that if you found out that your boyfriend was doing that, you wouldn't want to hear about consent. You wouldn't want to hear about his friend. You wouldn't want to hear about her forcing herself on him and all. You're not going to want to hear none of that. You're going to be like, bro, you cheated. You fucking cheated. You're a piece of shit. I don't want to be with you anymore. That is exactly how you're going to react. So he's not wrong in reacting like that. It's just the way it is. All right. You guys let us know what you thought about that one in the comments. Let's get on to our next one. Okay. Am I wrong? I, 30 male, told girlfriend's friend, 29 female, hard truths for women. Okay. So, I'm in a committed relationship for a few years. Proposal on horizon.
Oh.
What does that mean?
That the proposal's coming up soon. It's like on the horizon.
Oh, okay. Proposal on the horizon. Okay. This question isn't about my partner, but her friend. My girlfriend's friend, 29 female, let's call her Cora. I've known Cora personally for 9 years, 5 of which in a friend group with my with my now girlfriend. Cora is, to say the least, a big-chested girl. Imagine E-cups on a 5'4" frame, so huge. Cora has no concern showing an awful lot of cleavage when heading out on her dating profiles, which isn't an issue in itself if it works. The issue Cora has is upset she can't get guys to take her seriously. She initially gets a lot of attention for a date or two. This bothers her, but I never said anything as not my place, and I was never asked. Until this weekend, she asked me to be truthful about what could be wrong. I told her most men don't want a serious partner who is flashing a nipple constantly. Men don't see 6 tender pics with heavy cleavage and think, I'd love to get to know her. They think titties and sex. Right or wrong, that's what they think. I told her this after she asked. She got upset and angry, as did my girlfriend. They said it shouldn't matter. But what should and shouldn't matter wasn't the question. If all your profile / vibes is sex related, that's how men will see you. I told her to focus on her hobbies, degree, dog, or her profile, which are all currently missing. My question is, why ask a man to answer truthfully, then get upset with the answer? She's a pretty girl, but men hitting 30 want a long-term partner with modesty. Thoughts?
I mean, yeah, you fucking hit it on the head, bro. The idea is, she fucking wants to show her boobs. That's fine, you know, yada yada. I think the part that you're missing with the idea of like why ask a man and get upset is like because women don't want accountability.
No, they don't.
They don't want that. They want to be gaslit into like you're not the problem. It's all the men out there. They suck. They're the reasons that you're having all these issues. Yada yada yada. And they want a man to validate that so they can be like, oh, see, even a man said it. So I'm gonna keep doing it. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, you did what you did. What any man that was smart would do. Explained it to her. They didn't want to hear it. Your girlfriend and her friend both didn't want to hear it. They're stupid. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just how the female mind works. You did fine.
Yeah.
You know, the idea is, right, if you don't want to like listen to it so harshly, the idea is you attract what you put out there, right? Like a negative magnet is going to attract a positive magnet, right? So the idea is if she keeps attracting men that aren't shit, that are shitty, she is doing something that allows them into her life. I.e., what you're saying is showing off her tits. And it's like, at the end of the day, dude, like it's her fault. And she doesn't want to accept that. She wants someone to gaslight her into thinking it's not her fault.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing where it's like a lot of women feel like they can do anything and still get the positive result for it. It's like, dude, if you're going to objectify yourself, guess what? Men are going to objectify you. That's just the way it goes. Like women can't be objectified without objectifying themselves first. They, you know what I mean? By you wearing the skimpy outfit or you wearing the revealing clothing and all that kind of stuff, bro. That is what creates the objectifying. You have now objectified yourself to then lead to be objectified. And if I'm not saying she has to wear like turtlenecks and shit and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if she focused on a lot more, like he said, a lot more of her hobbies, a lot more of things that she enjoys, things that he likes, things that kind of show more of her personality. Well, guess what? Then she'll probably start to attract more of those types of guys. Yeah. But the thing is if you kind of put yourself out there as a sex object, guess what? They're only going to see you as a sex object. Yeah. Like a lot of women that go into sex work, whether they're strippers, whether they're OnlyFans girls, they're porn stars, all that kind of stuff, they sit there and they cry because no guy looks at them as a woman. And it's like, no shit, I'm not going to look at you as a woman because you decided to purport yourself as a sex object. So if you're putting yourself out there as a sex object, I'm only going to see you as a sex object. But if you put yourself out there as a woman that is worth actually having a relationship with and being loved, then that's how I'm going to treat you. Yeah. You know what I mean? The thing is like, I'm not going to go out into the world. Like what you put out into the world is what you get back. So if I go out into the world and I'm just a piece of shit person, nobody's going to be nice to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's just the way. I can't be an asshole to everybody and then sit there and expect them to be nice to me. Like that's not the way it works. And so again, you can't put yourself scantily clad on a dating app and expect them to treat you like a traditional woman. Yeah. It's just not the way that goes. So that you kind of got to explain it to her like a child. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, you gotta explain it to her like a child. Like, hey, you know, if you do this, then this is what's gonna happen. Yeah. But if you change this, then guess what? This changes. Yeah. You know, and so if you kind of like focus on more of these things, then these things will change. Because
it's like if your boobs and Tinder equals bad men that don't respect you, maybe try something different and see what that equals. Right? Very simple, like you said, very simple, where it's like if you show off that you can cook or that you, I don't know, go kayaking or like you have some type of personality or you show that you have like a really clean house, whatever the fucking case may be.
Or you go out with your dog like he mentioned.
You go out with your dog, whatever, right? And they just happen to notice you have big boobs as well. That's a lot different than 6 of the same thing over and over where it's just big boobs in the camera. Yeah. And you're over here like, yeah, I mean, because even yourself, it sounds like you're fascinated by them by saying, imagine ease on a 5'4" frame and, you know, so huge, yada, yada. It's like, all right, well, if they're that prominent, then you got to really try to do something to distract from them. Yeah, I mean, because like we said, you know, if that's all you're attracting, you're doing something to attract that. You know what I mean? You need to do something different, right? And if you want to explain that to her, you can. That might be good advice. You know, just make a bet with her, see what the fuck comes up, where it's like, hey, if you try these types of pictures and you say these kinds of things on the dates, then cool. And you get further, then we know it was what you were doing before was the problem versus what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. So,
but yeah.
But like he said, you did the right thing.
Yeah.
You told her the truth. You know, women can't handle the truth. We all know that. That's just what it is. But that, like he said, you know, you just be honest with them, man. You tell women the truth and you let them take it as they're going to take it, deal with it, they're going to deal with it, because it's like, did I lie to you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, again, like Michael said, they're going to delusion themselves into believing that that's not a lie. You know what I mean? That they're just, oh, you're just hating and you're this and that. And it's like, all right, dude, whatever. But,
yeah,
you know. All right. You guys let us know what you think about that one in the comments. Let's get on to our next one. Okay. Kissed my coworker, but didn't have a good outcome.
Interesting.
Okay, so 2 Saturdays ago, I went out to a bar with friends and 2 coworkers. I got pretty drunk. I ended up dancing in front of a coworker, and we ended up making out. I know he was sober because he was driving that night. I remember telling him I thought he was cute, and he said I was cute too. Don't know who initiated the kiss though. Most likely you. Come on now. If he wasn't drunk or anything like that, yeah, you probably initiated. It's cool though. It's cool. We didn't really talk about it much after that. On Monday, he texted me first, asking how my hangover was. We talked about the night and laughed it off. At one point, I joked and said I can't continue drinking around him anymore because I'll keep pursuing him.
Excellent.
And he replied, "Let's keep drinking then." Oh, okay. All right. Hold up. I also told him I'm trying to find out what he's all about and why my friend was obsessed with him. Random fact, he was talking to a friend a while back, and I found out randomly, such a small world. I also said I do it better. He said he's trying to find out. That was stupid of me to do. I mean, I don't think that was. You guys are just flirting.
Are they single? Is one of them taken? What's going on?
I don't think so.
Or is it just because it's like workplace related?
Well, no. I think she may have think it's a little weird just because he has, I don't know if dated, but been involved with a friend. Okay. Because she said, random fact, he was talking to a friend a while back, and I found out randomly. Yeah. So this guy has already talked to a girl that she's known, probably maybe have dated, gone on a couple dates, something to that degree. And that's why she said, I do it better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he said, well, I'm trying to find out. Yeah. But then she's like, oh my God, that was stupid of me to say that.
Okay.
We kept texting pretty normal, talking about working out, and he joked about getting buff. I said that he was already fit. Then he said that he might end up looking like one of my past crushes. He named him and said he was huge. He also brought up another coworker who used to be into me and had been so persistent with going out with me. Conversations got weird. After that, I stopped replying because I suddenly felt sad and confused. I'm sad and confused. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So because he brought up a past guy that was persistent with you, all of a sudden you're just like, yep, nope, don't want to date him anymore. No, never mind. I'm good. It's a little weird. That's kind of what I'm getting. I don't know if you're getting that same vibe.
I'm not fully understanding. And what comes to mind first is I feel like he kind of showed that like he's been into her for a while and just hasn't really said anything and kind of been a little bit jealous of like, you know what I mean?
Oh, that previous guy?
Of like, yeah, because I don't know how the conversation went, but I feel like it was along the lines of like, oh, well, what did you like about him? Or like, yeah, you're really into this type of guy.
Oh, and whatever he does, I can do it better.
Yeah, and like that kind of stuff kind of snowballed where she's like, all right, now you're just like kind of comparing yourself a little too much.
Yeah.
And that's weird, dude.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Where she was like, oh, like, you know what I mean? And I kind of was picking up on that because I'm like, why is he mentioning other, you know what I mean? Like, she mentioned it. But that's like I do it better shit. Like I shouldn't be like shit talking on other people, whatever, right? But and then he mentioned it and probably went high and right to her, like, oh, she did it, so I'm gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So he kind of thought it was okay to do because she did it. Yeah.
And so it probably got a little weird for her.
Okay.
And then that's why she was like, well, I kind of liked him until he was weird. So now I'm like sad and confused. I'm like, do I still like him? Do I not? You know?
Yeah.
I hope I have that right. I don't know.
That's what we're thinking.
That's what we're thinking.
We're just going off of the information given.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? My thing is I don't think that this should have been a reason why you stopped talking to him.
Yeah.
Just off the simple fact that he's just going off of your vibe.
Yeah.
You kind of set a precedent vibe of, you know what I mean? We're kind of bashing like previous people that have liked us or that have talked to us and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm going to kind of go off of you. Like, guys are not really going to do something like that or say something like that without testing the waters or having you have like said that first. Yeah. So I think what it is you kind of saw him do something that you did, and because you didn't like that you did it, he did it, so you don't like him. Yeah. It's like the best thing for you to do is just, I would let that go and just be like, it is what it is. Like the flirting and the banter is still good. There's that didn't change anything. You're still attracted to the guy. That doesn't change anything. So
yeah, I mean, awkward scenarios are gonna happen. Yeah, you know, you kind of just gotta be like, all right, that was awkward, and then move past it.
Exactly.
Because if you only are interested in people that are never ever awkward, you're probably not going to be interested in pretty much anyone. You know what I mean?
Because everybody's going to have a little awkwardness.
You know, it happens. You know, you interact with people enough, no one's aligned 100% all the time. So it's like, you know, that's the idea here is if we're reading this right, you kind of just need to forget that or something and then get back into it. Because it sounds like you guys are both single. I would just be, as a dude myself, right? If he watches this, I'd be a little bit more careful on the idea of being sober and being around a drunk girl,
Okay.
right? Just solely on the fact of not just consent, but the idea of like, are you making the most level-headed choice right now? You know what I mean? That you are wanting to do. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I don't really have advice for you, but other than just like, kind of let that shit go and you know,
I mean, we kind of agree at the same part of just let it go and just keep talking to the guy and see where things go. And if you guys get into a relationship, great. If you guys don't, then you don't. Like, that is the best way to go about it, if I'm being honest with you. So we don't have anything else to that. All right, did you want to do one more, or we ended it right here?
We'll do one more.
All right, we can do one more. Okay. Oh shoot. Actually, that is it.
Nice.
That's all we have for this week.
Okay.
All right. That's actually going to be it. I was going to do one more, but that's all we have for this week. So, thank you guys so much for watching the episode. We appreciate you guys. We love you, all that good stuff. Keep showing support, man. Following us, you know, checking out the episodes, all that good stuff. Patreon.com/MyThatAsshole Podcast. Getting exclusive episode every single month, as well as our free episodes that we do every single month. And keep downloading the episodes, as well as rating us 5 stars on your preferred platform, and then follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. Follow our boy over here at his new handles for his TikTok as well as his Instagram. All the links are down in the description, all that good stuff, man. And
thank you guys for your support. You know, it really shows how much you guys are actually liking the shows, the episodes, all the advice that we give, stuff like that. When I get the DMs, like, you know, like I said, the new page I have for myself really blew up overnight out of nowhere. So that's really shows me that you guys do give a shit and you guys are wanting more of us in general. So, you know, I do appreciate that. And I can't wait to be back on the show next week.
All right. So that's what we're going to do, man. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. I have another guest episode on Tuesday for you guys. And then I'll see you guys Thursday. We're going to be starting our new book, Sweet Venom. So if you guys are excited for that, definitely get in for that. I know that one weirdo is. All right, man. We love you guys. We appreciate you all. We'll see you. Peace.